What is up? Welcome back to the Acid Castle podcast. I'm Guardin, and these are my friends. If you guys want to introduce yourselves real quick.
Oh, what's good on flowers?
Hey, it's YUNG here.
What's up? It's Brody.
Hey, my name is Hamilton. I'm also here.
Hey, Hamilton!
What's up, Hamilton?
We all have a group chat, and Hamilton is AFK. We don't know where he is, but we hope he's doing well. He might pop in mid-episode, fingers crossed. But if not, we got some great people doing impressions of him today. So
Fill the void.
yeah,
I hope he's just getting some beauty sleep.
fingers crossed.
He's sleeping. I hope. You know what he needs?
So milk.
This man needs not some milk. I was gonna say he needs some coffee. Yeah.
Oh, hey, I got coffee right now. I dropped a picture in the chat earlier. I got this Chobani oat milk cold brew, which is pretty nice.
So sick.
Sounds tasty.
That sounds good.
Can't go wrong with the oat milk. Best milk / creamer by far.
Oh, hands down.
I mean, I know the worst coffee in the world is at Denny's, but that sounds.
At Denny's?
Yeah, remember that you used to want to drive to Denny's all the time at like 2 a.m, and we'd go there, and I'd be so tired. So I'm like, you know what? With my breakfast at 2 a.m, I want to get some coffee, but it'd just be hot water, basically.
It's probably sitting on the burner since like that morning.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it is kind of burnt as well. So you just you try to put in sugar, but they don't give you enough, really.
A nice heavy roast.
I mean, I'm not trying to roast Denny's. The food's good. It's just
No, I mean the coffee beans.
The coffee, bro.
I gotta say though, I feel like if you're at a Denny's at 2 a.m, the good coffee wouldn't really match that aesthetic. I feel like
True.
if you're already up that late, like some shitty coffee in a Denny's, that brings me back to high school, man.
It was in a college town, so there'd be like other kids there that are probably up late, like they just pulled an all-nighter, like studying, writing an essay or some report or some shit, and then we're just in there after, like just hanging out, maybe getting high or something, and we're just getting snacks. It's just it doesn't fit the vibe at all.
Nice.
I miss those days, dude. I want to go back to Denny's. We gotta
Doing random ass shit.
Yeah.
We could do a podcast episode in Denny's.
Yeah,
Bro,
what's the
Denny's.
closest Denny's like central to everybody?
Bro,
That'd be
okay.
hilarious.
That would probably be somewhere in Pennsylvania, right? Would be like the middle ground for all of us.
I don't know.
Let's do it. Middle of Pennsylvania, right in Amish country. Go to Denny's.
That would be hilarious.
Let's go to the most Amish Denny's we can find.
Oh, damn. What have you guys been up to lately?
I mean, I just moved into my apartment. Like, I literally just had to set up my stuff before the podcast, but like,
How's the adjustment been?
it's good.
Yeah.
I really like it. I mean, I just like the north, like northeast. I mean, I'm like literally okay, bro. Literally, Detroit is 50 minutes from me. It's like I'm basically in Michigan. It's like the tip of Ohio.
Do you like living up north for the weather, or is that like
Yeah.
essential to all your people, or what?
Okay, so definitely weather, but also like like being like east. Like I didn't realize like when I was living in Colorado, it's like being east, you're so close to so many cities. But when you live like west, it's like 10, 12 hours to the next city. Whereas here, I'm like 2 hours from like 3 huge cities.
You can
So
day
it's
trip so many places.
Yes, exactly. Or like shows or I mean there's just so many.
I guess it's just because of the way the fucking country was settled, right?
Literally.
We slowly
mean,
went over to the west, so it's like more sparse over there, I think.
Amen.
I think you're only a few hours from me right now because I'm in Ohio right now, like East Ohio.
Oh really?
Yeah. We're neighbors.
Hey,
Kinda.
brother. Welcome.
Have you are there any like good spots to eat around you, Evan? Have you found any go-to places yet?
I mean, I literally got here this morning.
Oh shit, I didn't know it was that. I thought you'd been
I mean, literally, I woke up
at
at 5:30 this morning and drove up here. So it's like,
Damn.
yeah.
So tell us your favorite parts so far.
I think my favorite part, I was driving from Cleveland over here, and it's like outside of Toledo, Ohio, if you know where that is. And so I literally took Highway 2, and it literally goes right on the Lake Erie, and there was one like bridge that went right over Lake Erie, and it was really cool.
Beautiful?
Yeah,
It's like an ocean, really. It's so cool.
it's so big. Let me see if I can show you guys just for reference.
Is Erie that big?
Yeah, it's pretty big. That's what she said.
I think I've only been to one of the Great Lakes for like a summer trip when I was a kid, as a part of like the summer program to like kayak or shit.
That'd be nice.
I'm putting a picture.
Oh wow,
I took that this morning when the sun was rising on the river or the lake. I mean,
That looks
oops.
wild, man.
it's so cool up there.
I like that flannel.
Thank you.
Is that a city in the distance? Is that a city?
No,
What
I
is
think it's like a bunch. It's like a port or something. Like a
Oh.
bunch of boats. I think on a port.
Yeah, I shot back in like May. I shot a music video in like Marblehead, which is right by like Cedar Point, I guess. And it's like a beach town there. Like it's crazy how that is in Ohio. You really don't expect all of that.
Agreed. Like
Yeah.
that's why I like it here, though. It's nice.
Yeah, very scenic, very
100%.
nice.
I love it.
You've been playing Fortnite?
No, actually, me and Kawi the other day with his friends from Brunei were playing Dead by Daylight and stuff. I've been doing
Oh,
that.
bro, I downloaded it. Yeah, we need to play it. We need to run up as a squad.
Yes.
You do need to run it up. The game's so fun, man.
You got to get it now, Brody.
Yeah, what is it? I was talking to Negative Zero about you, Evan, the other day. He said
Oh,
that you guys
really?
play. He's trying to get me to get a quest to play with you guys VR. I think that'd be so
Yes,
fun.
dude. You need to get the Quest 2 and you need to get Demio.
It's Demi,
That sounds sick. I have a Mac, so I'm like really limited with VR options. But so
That's
that
why the
seems like
Quest is
the answer.
awesome. I'm telling you, bro. In
Exactly.
Demio, I don't know if you guys, Nick and Keem, if you guys know what Demio is, or maybe Demio, but it's like this like 3D board game where you're in this like 80s
What?
basement and you play a
What?
board game, but you can like zoom all the way in, so it feels like you're on the board. Kind of like Harry Potter, like the chess in the first film.
Oh,
It's
no.
kind of like that.
Yo.
It's so sick, and it's like a D&D quest. So you have like your paladin,
Okay.
your like archer, and your assassin, and you all pick a class, and then you roll dice and like move your character.
That
It's
sounds sick. I've never actually played D&D, but I
What?
used to listen
It's fun.
to YouTube videos of people like talking about the games that they played, and I think it's super interesting.
Yeah.
We got to get a SoundCloud D&D campaign going.
Nico was trying to start one.
I'd be so
Negative
down
Zero.
for
Really?
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be fun.
I would love to learn. It seems tight.
We could do it. We'll figure it out. I'll hit up Nico.
Hell yeah.
It's just super complicated from what I understand. Like rolling up character sheets and fucking figuring out the rules of what system you're gonna play in.
I think it gets simple as it goes. Like you
Yeah.
start at level 1 with very basic stuff, and as time goes on, you learn more. Like as you understand it, I think. If that's what you're gonna say, Evan.
Yeah, literally. It gets better. And like if you have someone like Nico or me who knows a little bit about it, it's always a lot easier. They can help.
Because my entire experience with like RPGs is like all video games. I've never done tabletop anything.
When you play D&D, you'll see like how derivative everything else is from it. It's kind of crazy. It's like you're like, oh, like they're all taking from this system, from this game.
Oh, word? Okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to compare it to anything else. It is a lot of fun. Like I wasn't sure if I'd like it or not when I first did it, but I've played with a few different groups.
And if you guys are really into it, you probably know about Neckbeardia. That's like the YouTube channel that I watch that does like D&D related videos.
No.
I don't think so, actually. I'll
I've
have to check it out.
never heard
I
of
think
that.
they're like one of the biggest ones. I mean, other than that, the only thing I know that's mainstream D&D is like Critical Role, and I've never
Yeah.
watched that.
Yeah.
I haven't watched Critical Role either. But do you guys know? Oh, this could be a cool segment. Into like movies. I don't know if you guys ever heard of Dead Meat, the YouTube channel.
No.
No, I
Anybody?
haven't.
What? What about you, Nick?
I don't think so.
What? Oh my god. Okay, so there's this YouTube channel called Dead Meat, and he does kill counts for horror films, and he'll watch them, and he'll kind of give like a run through, and he'll like tell you how many kills are in the movie, or in the movie. He does TV shows every once in a while, but he has his own podcast with his girlfriend, and they do D&D with a big group of people.
That's fire.
I
cool.
saw. I haven't watched any of his videos, but the one for Saw popped up on my feed.
Yes, dude, you gotta watch it. He
Oh,
does.
that's fun.
It's good. You should watch it. Yeah.
That's so specific. I love it.
Yeah, it's so strange. I mean, yeah, he's cool. Also, just to shout them out, they also have a podcast where they do movie reviews. Him and I think it's his fiance now, but
Heck yeah.
anyway, yeah, that's really cool.
That's tight.
There's a one of the characters from Saw is in Dead by Daylight. It's pretty cool.
Wait, really?
Oh yeah, the
yeah,
pig,
the
right?
the successor, the pig, the one that comes
Yeah.
after Jigsaw.
Love the worlds colliding.
Damn. I as soon as I got that game, I spent $5 so I could get Michael Myers.
I'll bet. Have you played Killer? It's so hard. It's so fucking hard.
Yeah, I've played as him, and it's impossible. Like, I didn't kill anybody. He walks so fucking slow.
Oh no.
I know. Are you trying to stalk the whole time? I don't have him, but I have Ghostface, and their mechanics are similar. So you have to like try to stalk people so that when you actually do sneak up on them, it's an insta kill. Otherwise, you have to like chase them halfway across the map, and they just smack you in the face with these big wooden pallets that stun you for like 3 seconds, and it's super frustrating. Playing Killer is way harder than playing Survivor. Playing Survivor and having friends on comms is super fun. Otherwise, that game's super frustrating. I couldn't do it.
So is this all Dead by Daylight?
Yeah.
I didn't realize what all that game was. That sounds awesome.
Oh, it's super cool, man. I mean, it's simple. It's not like hard to get. It's more like understanding once you're playing like how best to efficiently play Survivor or Killer.
Mhm.
I'd say Killer is way harder to learn, so you might enjoy Survivor more.
I think Survivor's fun. Killer is frustrating when you get outran and everyone laughs at you.
Bro, especially
They're
when
just
they got
clicking flashlights in your face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so not fun. I don't know if you guys know, but there's another game like Dead by Daylight. I think it's just called Friday the 13th, but it's like the
I've heard of
literal
Yeah.
Friday the 13th game. It's fun. You play as campers or camp counselors. Jason
Mm-hmm.
chases you.
That sounds great.
Cool too.
It's just like Dead by Daylight, yeah, except obviously campers or camp counselors instead.
The trope of like horror movie summer camp is so fun. Like that's never like a bad trope to use.
I mean, it's an entertaining. You know, what happened to like slasher movies? Because they like perfected the genre in like the mid to late 90s, and then like through the 2000s, everything just became like jump scares and like loud noises. That's all it is.
I
Right.
think
Yeah.
my conspiracy is just like CGI became really big, and like slashers were really cool back in the day because they did everything practical,
And
so the
it's
blood
cheap,
looked
yeah.
cool, yeah, and it's cheap,
Mhm.
and then everyone just started using CGI, so it's like I don't know.
It feels
people
like
got
they use
weird.
CGI because they have the budget to do so, not that it makes the
Not that they need
product
to.
better. Yeah.
Yeah. Have you guys seen that one film, Wrong Turn?
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
It's so funny that you bring that up because I was talking with somebody about that like a couple days ago.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that movie's very,
I like
very interesting.
super low budget horror. Like the first few Chucky movies, they're like easy, but I like them because of that. I like the Crow movies. They're not super horror, but I'm a big fan of those. I like Brandon Lee a lot.
Have you guys ever been to Hocking Hills in Ohio? Because that's where they filmed a lot of the Wrong Turn movies.
Really?
What?
Oh no.
No
Yeah.
way.
And it's like based. It's kind of scary because like I've walked through there and then you think about those movies and stuff, and it's based in like West Virginia, like pretty near Ohio as well. It's too close to home, man.
I think last podcast we were talking about visiting like scary locations. So it'd be cool
Yeah,
if we
we
could go to
were.
like
Yeah, insane
movie sets
asylum.
and stuff like that too.
That
Like
would be
old
so
That would be
sick.
cool as
looking.
fuck.
Where did they film
Right.
Blair Witch? I hear that's like a oh fuck, I forgot.
Was that
I don't know,
in
we can
upstate
Google
New
it.
York?
It was somewhere in the northeast.
I'm looking it
Northeast.
up.
Did they film it in Canada, maybe?
It may have been
Seneca
Canada.
Creek State Park in Gaithersburg.
Where is
Oh,
That
that?
sounds like Canada. That sounds like Canada.
Sounds like
I'm doing more research.
That's actually
Maryland.
Maryland?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Montgomery County.
Yep. Maryland. Let's see. How far is
Welcome to
that?
Montgomery County.
It'd be cool
Yeah.
to. I mean, there's not going to be anything in the woods because that's all they did. I mean, we might be able to like set up a tent and stay out there for the night just for the
That would be
atmosphere.
Do
crazy.
a podcast out there. That'd be cool as hell.
Get
Oh
a
yeah,
campfire going, do a little podcast by the campfire.
that would be fire.
That's cool. We could crank it up. What is it? There's so near where I am, there's this penitentiary that is it's no longer like they don't use it anymore, but apparently it's haunted and like Ghost Adventures and all the shows have been there. But they offer tours through it, but they also will like let you stay the night there, like unguided, which sounds terrifying because that's not like pretend haunted. That's like actual.
What kind
haunted.
of slips do you have to sign, like liabilities? So like, hey, if you
Probably a
fucking
lot.
get possessed or murdered, it's not our fault.
Like, what kind of stuff are you gonna bring home from that unintentionally? That sounds like the start of like a scary movie.
I guess we
Well-
have to bring sage and fucking pendances.
Yeah,
right?
have you guys ever heard of I think it's McCamey Manor?
I've heard that the traveling like haunted house shit, but I heard that that dude like was doing some crazy shit. Like he was forcing people
Yeah.
to eat bugs and raw meat and shit.
Yeah,
God.
so it's like a tourist attraction. It's kind of like a haunted house, but you stay there for I think it's like 6 to 8 hours or something like that. But you sign a form, and they pretty much torture you the entire time. Like they'll waterboard you. They'll do like all this like
Well, yeah,
crazy shit. They'll bury you alive. Like all
Oh
this
my god.
fucked up shit. And
guy that owns it used to be like a Navy SEAL or something, right? Like he used to actually torture people for a living, and that's where he got like the experience to even do something like that, somewhat safely.
That's pretty fucked up.
yeah,
That sounds pretty
it's
chill. I'd do it.
Sounds
really
pretty chill.
No,
Well,
no
apparently,
way.
apparently it gives people actual PTSD. Like, there's a lot of people that had like issues from that. I watched like a whole documentary or some shit about it, like a few years ago.
yeah, that
I
shit's.
Because
bet.
they don't do it anymore, do they? I thought they stopped doing it.
I think they tried to bring it back in like 2018 because I remember it trending on Twitter at one point, and everybody was like, "Do not let this happen." But yeah, I don't think they do it anymore. They're all like a bunch of masochists.
Yeah, it
And I
sounds like
would,
the guy's like getting his fix now that he's out of the military or something.
Yeah,
Like,
right.
Jesus.
I would like to go to like an extreme haunted house, but like not one where they're like actually gonna like tase you and make you eat rotten meat or bugs or something like that. That just sounds like wild.
Wait, do they tase you during that? That sounds
They
nuts.
they did some crazy shit. Like they would actually, I mean, they would touch you, but I don't know how bad it would get. Like I'm pretty sure they taste people, but
Oh my.
I could be misremembered.
I remember there was a video that I saw of some girl where they were trying to like drown her in a bathtub, and they would just bring her up just enough so she could like breathe a
Yeah,
little
they just
bit, and
stuff
then
like
just
that.
yeah, it's fucked.
Man, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how I'd react to that. Like you would think you're okay with that, and then it's happening to you, and it's like I'm gonna die. I gotta fight this guy. I'm gonna die. How would you?
It's
Yeah,
probably not like a
They-
0% chance that you would, you know? Like,
That's why they had people sign waivers. I'm assuming. I'm sure people got close to dying or needed like the MTs to show up.
right. I need like a safe word or something.
uncle.
Yeah.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, chill.
Daddy, chill.
That's funny.
Damn. I recently started watching some Japanese horror films.
Those are
I
the
watched this
best.
one. Yeah, they're really good. They're really suspenseful too. There was this one called Pulse. Um,
I've heard
where
about that.
yeah, people would like go on the internet and they would see like these webcams of people just like in a room. Like it kind of looked like some like voyeur type shit.
Mhm.
Um, and eventually those people would kill themselves. And when they would watch those people kill themselves, they would go crazy and kill themselves too. And it was like this like reoccurring
Cycle.
like yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So there were specific rooms where like I guess because it was like at the root of it was all like this ghost thing, like everybody was like being haunted by this ghost. So like when one person dies, like that ghost moves to the next person that sees that person die, etc.
Oh, kind of like
Um
It Follows.
yeah, yeah, exactly like that. So that would happen, but every time they would find a room where somebody would kill themselves, they would put red tape around the door just to signify like don't go in there, like there's a ghost in there.
That's crazy.
And some of the main characters in the movie just fucking are like, "Oh, I'm gonna tear the tape down. I'm gonna go in
I
there."
don't give a. I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
I ain't afraid of no ghost.
But yeah, that shit's
That's
it
wild.
That
was
sounds good. With like with like summer kind of winding down, I've been in the mood to try to just binge a bunch of horror movies now. It's about that time.
Hell yeah.
It's about the season. It's spooky season coming up. Yeah.
It is coming.
Spooky.
I've already got a Halloween song on the ready.
Let's
Oh,
go.
okay.
Fire.
Yeah. It's about vampires.
Hey.
I wrote it after listening to watching all the Twilight shows.
But yeah, they did put all
Or
those
movies,
on.
yeah.
Put all those on Netflix now, didn't they?
They did, all of them.
They're
Yeah.
so funny.
They are. I love them.
Oh, I just watched the scene where they like they're doing the baseball game, and the dude literally the blonde dude with dreads, I think. He literally hisses at Bella, and I couldn't help but just start laughing. I'm like, this masculine ass man had to hiss for this role, bro. He was out
It's
here
the
hissing.
epitome of like young adult novel.
Yeah.
Was that the same? Didn't they play like Paramore during that baseball scene? I remember that being like the height of the movie
Nico.
for
I think
me.
so.
Yeah.
And that's supposed to be
Yeah.
the best part of the movie, but it's like, oh, I was just rewatching it. It was just so corny that he was like, I see you brought a snack.
Bro,
It's
it's so
good.
true.
The whole movie's
no.
just blue. I love the color grading too.
Yeah, the
Color grading is
great.
beautiful. Like those movies, I don't know what you say about the script or how you felt about the books or the story, but the cinematography is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It just fits that era of the 2000s, kind of like Jennifer's Body too, where it's just like super like a
That was
period
good.
piece of like. And funny enough, I think a third movie that is perfect for that like era of time is the Bratz live action movie.
I
What?
never saw that, but
It's on
I'll believe
Netflix,
you.
and I was skeptical the first time I watched it, but it is fucking hilarious. They like it just hits every trope of like that era of like TV and music and like TV shows and it's crazy.
Damn, I'm
It
looking
feels
that
like
up
a
right
parody
now.
of itself.
Did I talk last pod about how the Wayans brothers left Scary Movie and now just any scary movie they make is terrible after like I think the second or third one they left.
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Oh
did
wow.
I
Did
think you had mentioned
Oh.
that.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
1
Yeah.
through 3 are like classics.
Yeah, the first three, like I could rewatch those at any point and still think they're hilarious. But I tried watching the fourth and fifth one, and they're so bad.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
remember I really liked the fourth one when I was like 12, and then I rewatched
Yeah.
that movie when I was like 16 or 17, and I was like, this did not hold up.
Yeah, it doesn't hold up really.
And the fifth
Yeah.
one is just, I think they just like try to get a good cast, and it's like the script just
Right.
flopped.
Are you talking about
which
Scary
one?
Movie? Scary Movie?
Yeah.
Yes, the comedy like spoof movie.
Bro, those are so funny because it's just like
Yeah, same.
nonstop, just gags.
Right.
And the pop culture references, like movies
Yes.
try to do those the way Scary Movie did them, like, but that was like the peak of spoof
Have
parody.
you guys seen a superhero movie? One with Drake Bell?
It's like the same idea. They had like a whole
Yeah.
I don't know if it was the same company, but they had like that, the one that was like the fantasy movies, all kinds of
I tried
Yeah.
watching the Twilight spoof one. What was it called? It was called.
Oh,
It was really dumb. I tried watching
dang.
that, and it was just
It may
bad.
literally be called Twilight spoof
Vampires
movie.
suck.
Vampires suck. I think that was
Yeah.
it.
sounds right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it wasn't good.
No.
There's one called Breaking Wind.
Oh no, Breaking Wind. That's what I'm talking about. Oh,
That's
I'm
good.
trying to think of the stupid fucking name.
I looked up Vampire or Twilight spoof movie, and it recommended me the Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Nice. That's a beautiful spoof.
That's the best spoof I've ever seen.
That's so funny.
Remember when Hunger Games came out and they did a bunch of spoofs for that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one was bad too. I did watch one of those.
I think that there was literally a movie I think called The Hunger Games spoof. Oh no, Starving Games.
That's funny.
I don't
Right,
know if
and I
y'all
think they
remember
named
that.
her some like they do this silly shit with the names where they're like, oh, it's Cat Piss Everclean or some shit, and I'm like, bro, that's not funny. It's not that funny.
Just too much there.
Yeah.
I think Scary Movie 3 was the first PG-13 movie I ever saw. All the pop culture references like right over my head because I was like a little kid.
Oh, is that the one with the Grudge references, like the little Asian boy and
Yeah,
stuff?
Yeah, that and
The
The
Grudge,
Ring.
The Ring, and like Aliens. Or no, not Aliens.
War of the Worlds?
Huh?
Everybody got quiet.
I know. I was just gonna say, like if it was the third one, whatever one has like the Grudge parody in it. The little boy speaks Japanese, and so does Cindy. And when I was younger, my only reference to Japanese was like anime, so I thought it was. But rewatching it, they're literally saying like "Watashi wa Honda, Toyota," like shit.
He's literally just saying like Subaru.
I had no idea. Yeah, Subaru. I had no idea.
That's foul.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Damn.
I thought it was hilarious, understanding that it was. Oh no.
That's some 2000s humor right there.
It really is.
Yo,
For real.
you know what movie was really good from that era?
What movie?
Norbit.
Orbit was actually good.
Shout out Eddie
It's just,
Murphy.
but that was like that whole era had like black guys just getting in the fat suits and acting weird. Like there were like several different movies with different actors that did that.
Like the Nutty Professor. There was another.
That's Eddie Murphy too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They did one with what's his name? Martin. Martin did it too. Who else did
Oh
it?
yeah.
Steve
And obviously
Martin?
Tyler Perry did it, but
Who?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
who
I-
else did it?
It's like
I
the
feel like-
Medea movies, similar.
Yeah, I feel like Eddie Murphy did it better than Tyler Perry. I can't really say that because I haven't went back and watched those movies in years, but
Right.
from what I remember, like I really liked Norbit.
I mean,
I rented Norbit from Blockbuster.
see, the thing with Eddie Murphy is that he can play so many different roles. Like I just watched a movie with him recently that was meant to be like somewhat serious, even though he's like a comedic actor. I forget what it's called. It's called like a thousand words or something.
Ooh,
It's
I'll
on
have to
Netflix. It's really good.
That is what it's called.
Yeah, but like the premise is essentially like he's this this real estate guy or something. He works for this company, and he smooth talks his way through every situation. He screws people over, and he screws over the wrong guy, and they basically put a curse on him, to where he only has about 1,000 words left in his life until he dies, and he has to try to like repair his relationship with his wife and his son and stuff, and it gets really emotional towards the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but he can do that. He has the range to do like that sort of thing and be put in a fat suit and act like a girl and still do that well. But like Tyler Perry only does fat suit shit. Like
Right.
he's not good.
See, that's
That's
super
all he
impressive.
does.
I think it's cool when like actors will like show what like they don't always do those roles, but they have the like depth to do that. It reminds me of the Will Ferrell movie Stranger Than Fiction. If you've seen that,
Great one.
Yeah.
That is
that
really
movie is
good.
beautiful.
Yeah,
With
I
the
just watched
narrator?
that. It's really good.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. I love that film.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with being like typecast and having like something that you're really good at, but like it feels like if
totally.
that's all you can do and you don't even attempt to do something else, I sort of
Okay.
I'm not a movie snob. I can't really frown upon
Can we
it.
talk
So you're
about?
saying you hate Adam Sandler?
I was just gonna say Adam Sandler is a good actor.
Well,
Y'all see
Adam
Uncut
Sandler,
Gems, bro?
he
Come on.
feels like he does the
Oh,
same
yeah,
thing in
that's
every
right.
movie, but he doesn't. Like he has
But he
range
writes
in
a lot
every
of
one
them
his
too.
movies. Yeah.
I totally
Well,
forgot about Uncut Gems when I said
Now
that.
that he's older, it's like an Adam Sandler movie is an Adam Sandler movie because he's been established. Like if you look at all of them, you can see
That's true.
But like at the time, if you're like watching Waterboy as it comes out, you're like, who is this Adam Sandler guy? This is really good. And then his next few movies are really like Big Daddy is really good. It's like, oh, he's playing this guy that's trying to be a good stepfather. It's like comedic and it has depth to it at the same time. Like I don't think Adam is one note like Tyler
But
Perry
have
is.
you seen
Or-
Punch Drunk Love, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, starring
Have
Adam
not.
Sandler?
I don't
Have
think
not.
so.
It's
Either.
Adam Sandler's first serious role. It was in 2002.
Huh?
Damn.
I don't think
It was
Adam
kinda
Sandler's
slept
bad
on.
at acting.
I gotta check that out.
Yeah, you guys really should see it. It was crazy. Like basically, I literally listened to Adam Sandler on a podcast, and he was talking about how he got on that film. He became friends with Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise basically called him one day because he gave him his number, and he was like, "Oh my God, this is Tom." Like I think he told his wife or whatever. He's like, "Oh my God, Tom Cruise just called. Like he's on the phone with me right now." Tom Cruise was like, "Hey, have you heard of Paul Thomas Anderson? Who I don't know if you guys know him, but he did Boogie Nights and Magnolia as well."
I don't think I've seen those, but I've heard of Boogie.
They were
Nights for
pretty
sure.
big, like back in the day. But anyway, he was like, he wanted him to be in a film, and he cast him for Punch Drunk Love because he wanted him to do more of a serious role, and he did it. But yeah, that's how it happened.
That's fire. Who else is like I don't know. Who do you, Nick? Is there another one we're missing of like some guy that's like super comedy, but like they have like a serious movie too?
I mean, there's somebody that's super serious that does comedy and like other roles really well. Elijah Wood, I think is
Oh,
like
yeah.
super
The greasy
underrated.
straight.
He has that TV show called Wilfred. It's really good.
Oh my god,
It's
yeah.
like his
Wilfred.
imaginary friend's like a dog. It's an Australian dude in a
I
dog suit.
loved that show.
That's really good. It's crazy to think that he was in like The Hobbit.
Right.
I know, right? I feel like him and Daniel Radcliffe kind of had the same life path of like, all right, do like super successful fantasy movie series be set for life, and just like do weird things afterwards because you can do
Right.
whatever
Well,
at that
my
point.
favorite movie by Daniel Radcliffe by far is Horns. Like I could watch that
That
if that was the only movie I was ever allowed to watch for the rest of my life. I just love that movie so much.
I love Horns.
I don't know if you've seen it. Yeah, Horns is really good. I mean, it's not super upbeat, and I don't know. It's so good. You have to watch it. I don't even want to say anything about it because I'll spoil it. It's so good.
Right.
I got you. I'm gonna check that out. I'm gonna write it in my notes.
There's another one by with Daniel in it that I watched recently. I think it was on Amazon or Hulu or something. It's where like I don't remember the name of it, but he has like he ends up being kidnapped or something, and someone like cuts his hand off or like staples a gun to his hand or something to the point where he can't remove it, and he's like running around town with guns in his hands and crazy shit's happening.
Oh my
That was
god.
really good too. I just don't really remember much about it because it was all over the place.
It sounds interesting.
I've got so many Google tabs of things to check out after this.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe is just. I think he's a great actor. I feel like it's unfortunate that he was sort of like, I don't know. A lot of people that were in the Harry Potter movies, I feel like, other than Emma Watson, I feel like Emma Watson's the only one that turned the Harry Potter movies into like a major acting career. Because I don't. I
Mhm.
think she's like leagues ahead of Daniel in terms of like popularity and the sort of role she gets. People
I think-
actually take her
Bro, you
seriously.
hating?
I'm not hating on her. I love Emma Watson.
I think the problem sometimes is like when you're, especially when you are the lead, which I guess Emma is the one of the exceptions from it, is like you get known as like Harry Potter was such a successful series that like they see Daniel Radcliffe and think Harry Potter, so then it's hard to be
hard
cast
to
for
break
other
away from it.
roles.
I remember
Right.
right when it was ending, he was in a play, and it was like an on-stage play, and he like in his role, he had to be like naked in front of a horse, and he was like, I heard that he like did something as drastic as that to like immediately distance himself from just being pigeonholed
I
as
bet.
someone who only be a wizard, you know.
I
Shit,
can be a
mean,
wizard. I can also be naked on stage.
I was gonna say,
Well,
I feel
I
like
don't know the whole story, Joe, but like that was something dramatic he did. Were you saying, Evan?
I was just gonna say, I feel like Daniel Radcliffe kind of had the same effect, at almost at the same time that Elijah Woods had, because he played Frodo in Lord of the Rings, and that was also huge. Like that and um, Harry Potter were both like super big, especially in pop culture. That like, I mean, it's hard to cast them in something else, like you said, because everyone's gonna be like, oh, Harry Potter's in that film, or oh, Frodo's in that film.
Right.
It's not
Yeah, right.
them as like an actual actor. They've become
Yeah.
known as a specific character.
yeah.
It's sort of a blessing and a curse because, like,
Yeah,
they're
exactly.
never gonna stop making money from the Harry Potter franchise or the Lord of the Rings franchise, but they want to be more than that, you know.
Right.
I think there's like a symmetry in that with like actors like having a movie that propels them to fame and becomes something widely known, and musicians that have a song that blows up and it becomes the thing that people know them for. Neither of them, like, of course, everyone appreciates having the opportunity to do something that has that much
Mhm.
reach,
Yeah.
but then you don't want to be known as like a one-trick pony or something.
It's kind of awesome when you think about it, because then like they've got the fame, the money, and everything that they like. So I guess after that point, like the art that they can create is just entirely because they want to create it, and like no other motives or anything at that point.
That's fair. I mean, that
I
makes
think
sense.
at least that's how I interpret it. I think it's cool to be able to do that.
I've heard that it's just hard in Hollywood when you get pigeonholed into like a type to be able to do the movies you want to do. So I mean, it could be that they have enough money to where they could just hop on to any project and they're well known that anyone would be happy to have them, or it could be that people would be like, well, trying to do like a serious movie. I can't have Harry Potter in the middle of my movie, you know? Like,
Yeah.
I
That's
don't know how
true.
much it hinders them as well.
And I feel like a lot of people, if you went up to like the average Joe and you were like, "Oh, name 5 movies that Elijah Wood is in or Daniel Radcliffe is in," they're gonna go, and just name like the obvious ones. But you scroll through both of their IMDb pages, and it's like a plethora of really, really good films that you probably have never heard of. Like, I remember when Andy and I got that place in Columbus, one of the first movies he showed me was The Greasy Strangler.
I was gonna mention that one. Oh
Yes.
my god.
Which is, I think it's, what is it?
Elijah Wood.
It's co-directed by Elijah Wood, right?
Yeah, I think he's a
Yeah.
producer on it
Yeah.
as well.
that movie is so fucking out there and is like definitely meant for like a more niche audience. As far as like the sense of comedy in it. But that fucking movie is amazing.
It's
Same with. Were you gonna say?
Go
Sorry.
ahead. I was gonna say it is great. I like was hesitant to recommend it because of how out there it is, but it's hilarious.
It's definitely one of those movies that's really hit or miss, depending on who you're recommending it to.
Do
Exactly.
you all know Mike Myers?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Austin Powers,
Shrek, Austin Powers.
Oh my god! I just tried
He-
watching the Austin Powers movies.
What?
It's so bad.
What?
Oh,
What'd you just say?
I just tried rewatching the Austin Powers movies, and I couldn't get through like 15 minutes. I kept switching movies, and I was like, "Were all of these terrible?"
I was
did you watch
hoping.
Goldmember?
I just don't like them anymore. Yeah, I watched Goldmember. Oh man,
How
I
do you
don't know what
not
it
like
is.
Austin Powers?
I don't know what it is, bro. I was watching them and I was like, I could have swore this was way funnier than I think it is now. It was just, it was literally because like the first 10 minutes of each of the movies is just all sex jokes, and I was like,
That's true.
okay, machine gun titties. Okay, Mike Myers, we get it. You fuck. You want to shag people. We get it.
Yeah,
We get it.
baby.
He's like,
fuck
you want
you,
to
we
make
get
you
it."
only, baby.
Yeah.
He does say that a lot.
I gotta rewatch those and see if they hold up. I feel like Goldmember is the one that would hold up out of those.
But he's also in Wayne's World, and he
I
does the
love
Shrek.
Wayne's World.
Wayne's World is very funny.
He's
But
in
what
Shrek?
Yeah, he's the voice for Shrek. That's
The
Mike
fuck?
Myers plays Shrek.
I didn't even know.
No, but what I
Okay.
brought him up though, because we were talking about stuff they've done now, he directed a short film about, I think it's Alice Cooper's manager. He did like a whole film about Alice Cooper's manager, and it's directed by
What?
Mike Myers.
Oh, cool. I gotta check that out.
Sounds fire.
Interesting.
I think it's called. Let me look it up. I think it's a German name actually. Hold up. You guys talk about something else. I can look it up.
You know who we really forgot to talk about that fits the criteria of a typecasted role, but also is
Yeah.
like brilliant with whatever they do. And this is like the epitome of like people that would be on this list. Jim Carrey.
Oh
I
yeah,
love
that's
Carrey.
very true.
The original
dude.
Mask, the Mask movie, that it's supposed to be so silly, but like that movie is really good. And then
By the way, the Mike Myers guy, it was Alice Cooper, and the movie's called Supermensch, the legend of Shep Gordon, who I guess is
actually,
the
the
manager.
last movie I watched with Jim Carrey was the Sonic movie, and I didn't enjoy that. But
Yes.
I forget he's in
What?
that.
You
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
like that
Eggman.
film?
yeah, he's Dr. Eggman.
I gotta watch that still.
Me too.
I heard it was like not bad, but not good.
It wasn't terrible, no. But I don't know. Honestly, I think my favorite Jim Carrey movie is Me, Myself, and Irene.
Oh, okay.
I don't think that's.
Yeah,
Wait.
that's good. That
don't
movie's
think
really
I've
That's
good.
the one where he has a split personality.
Okay, yeah, I have seen that one. Yeah.
I really like Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
That's a classic.
You've
Movie's
talked
so
about that
good.
one a lot.
Dude, that movie
but I
makes me
don't know if
fucking
I've ever seen it.
sob. It's so good. Oh,
Oh, I
that's
guess what's
like-
your favorite movies? Have we talked about this? Maybe we have. I don't think so though.
No, I don't
What-
think we did.
What is
Did
your
we? I
favorite
don't think
movies
we
though?
ever
I
talked
guess
about it.
I'm curious. No
Fuck.
genre. Let's not put a genre on it. Let's just be like, you
Right.
know, if
Okay.
you could,
Well, I
if
have-
you had to go somewhere, you could only take one film, and that's the only film anyone would ever watch for the rest of
Ooh.
eternity.
Well,
What
I've
film
already
would it be?
said that I could watch Horns for every day for the rest of my life if that was the only movie I could ever watch. I really like that movie.
Really?
I mean, I don't know. But I was just saying that about that movie, like, because that's one of the ones I really like. But I have a lot of movies that I enjoy. So
That's funny because I got a song named Horns on my new album, Goblin Kid. Go stream it now on
Oh,
Spotify, Apple Music,
bet.
YouTube.
Available now.
Available now. Available now.
Little plug.
Okay, I need to watch that then. I haven't seen it.
Damn, one movie.
I think that it's a little cliche, but I feel like Spirited Away would be there for me.
Ooh,
I know it's
really?
like one of the more popular Studio Ghibli movies, obviously, but
well,
it just hits
there's
it all.
nothing wrong with liking a popular movie. They're
Exactly.
popular for a reason. I do shit on people that say Spirited Away is their favorite movie. So
But I think it's the most rewatchable of them. I don't know. The soundtrack's beautiful. The world building is great. It leaves a lot to the imagination. It's just
There's
overall like
very
a good
little
watch.
wrong with that movie. I don't think
And,
I could find anything wrong with that movie.
and if you have a movie that you want to watch like every day, like you mentioned, like I feel like it can't be super specific or like
Right.
intense. I don't know. I think that would be a solid choice.
Yeah, it's one of those movies
good
that's
movie.
like it'll never not hold up, you know.
Exactly.
Damn,
I agree. That's a good film.
I'm really thinking about this question now.
Think hard. It's okay. I don't know why I asked. I've got like 20 movies that I say are my favorite. So
I have two movies in mind, but
what are they?
I don't know if they're definitely on my list of favorites, but I don't know if they're movies that I could like watch over and over and over and over again.
Okay, let's
Um,
change the subject then, or like the not subject, but like the stakes.
Parameters?
Yeah.
Oh,
So maybe it's just like it's not the one you have to watch forever, but this is the film you have to watch before you watch a new film. Every time you go to see a new film,
Every
you
single
have to
time?
watch this film. Yeah.
Okay, so like a mint.
Yeah,
A little
exactly.
This is your warm up.
Yeah, this is your like I know I'm gonna like this film because it's one that I enjoy, and then I'll go watch a new film.
Like say you're gonna have a
Cleansing
movie
palate.
night with your friends. This every time is gonna be the one you
Yes,
guys watch
that's
first.
a good way of
Oh,
putting it.
okay.
Keem.
Okay.
Yeah,
The
you'd
Goonies.
recommend this, I guess. You want your friends to see it.
I gotta pick the Goonies.
Hey,
That movie,
John Austin.
so when I
Bastard.
moved last year, I found out that there's a drive-in theater about 20 minutes away from where I live. So Marissa and I went and watched that at the drive-in, and she had never seen that movie before, and it really held up. It was good.
That's
This
fun. That
is
feels like the
gonna-
best way to watch that movie too.
Yeah, it was.
I've never actually watched a movie in a drive-in, but
Me either.
that sounds fun.
Same.
Bringing it back to what you were talking about earlier. I watched Scary Movie 4 at a drive-in.
Really?
That's so
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
Curse.
I mean, I don't know. That seems fun. Just drive-ins in general seem fun. I heard people during the pandemic were doing like drive-in comedy. Like people would just be in their cars.
Yeah, concerts
They did
too.
concerts like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fire. I think if we're talking like a movie night with friends, this movie's really cheesy, but I like this movie called Stardust, and it's like it's supposed to be romantic. It's this very like Disney. It's a 2007 film. Let's see.
I found it.
And it's not very. I don't know. This movie, I just love
Looks
watching
very
it.
Disney.
It seems very Disney. It's very cheesy.
Fantastical.
It's something you could watch on a date or with your friends, and I think you'd still be able to enjoy it. But I also love
I'll
that
have to
movie.
check it
That's
out.
like definitely in my top 5 movies of all time.
Dang, y'all got good ones. I like. Me like.
You know what?
It's very tropey
Hold on.
fantasy, but it's good.
Something that's kind of like in a similar vein that would be a good movie to watch with like a group of friends. Have you guys seen Jack and the Giant Slayer? Or Jack the Giant Slayer? Not Jack.
No.
Giant Slayer.
It's like Jack and the Beanstalk, but it's played by Nicholas Hoult, who played Tony in Skins. He's in like a bunch of other
Yo,
I've
movies.
never heard of this.
He's the main dude in Warm Bodies.
Hey, is he really?
Yeah, he's fucking.
Warm Bodies is so good.
Yeah, that movie's really good.
That is a good film.
He's in X-Men too, I think.
Damn.
He looks very familiar. Oh, he's in Skins. That's why.
Yeah, it's Tony.
That's
But
crazy.
I've seen Skins.
that's kind of in like a similar vein of the film that you mentioned, Keem. It's pretty good.
No, I believe you. That sounds good. Warm Bodies is so good. Oh no.
I never saw that, but I love the premise.
Oh, watch it for sure. I mean, necrophilia is bad, but that movie makes it look so good.
Yeah, that's one way to look at it.
No, I know. It's just because he becomes. Oh, that's spoiling it. Never mind.
You. No, I'm kidding.
dun
He
dun
kills me.
dun. Fuck.
No, you should definitely check that movie out, Brody. That's so good.
Did Evan say a movie?
He said he
Nah.
had many movies.
Many,
Okay.
many movies.
If it's something like a rom-com, then I would go with a film called So I Married an Axe Murderer
Oh, okay.
with Mike Myers. And then
What?
if it was
Shout
a
out,
horror
Mike.
film, I would go with the film called The Orphanage, directed by J.A. Bayona. don't
No,
know
I
if
was
you guys have
thinking of
seen
The Orphanage.
Yeah,
That's
it's
Yeah,
the Orphan too.
If y'all
Me
haven't
too.
seen The Orphanage, you are in for a treat.
Oh,
Anyone watching this,
Guillermo
you
del
need to watch it.
Toro.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm
He-
watching this tonight.
Yes,
Damn.
you really should. It's
Yeah, I
literally one
gotta
of my
check
favorite
that.
films.
Oh, bro, that's
I
gonna be
remember Del Toro. He is so crazy.
Mhm.
I remember one time he had an exhibit in the LACMA Museum at LA. It was like, so in his house, he's like a firm believer of like you have to be surrounded by creative things to be creative. So he just has
Right.
so much crazy stuff throughout his house, and they just like took a lot of it and put it in the museum to show, like giant statues of characters from his movies, like
Right.
huge paintings. There's some like original concept art for like Sleeping Beauty and other like Disney
Mhm.
films. Just all kinds of cool props and stuff.
That's
Right.
so tight.
Right?
Anytime I think of Del Toro, I think about PT and get really upset that that never happened.
Man, PT would have been so good.
Right?
I haven't
Uh,
played the new Resident Evil game. I haven't played 7 either, but that's been out for ages.
Seven's really good, but yeah, I haven't played the new one either. The what is it, the Village or
Yeah. All I know is that Mommy got milkers. That's all I know.
Mommy
Oh my
Milk?
god.
I don't think I've enjoyed a Resident Evil game since 4, to be honest.
Four was really good. I liked four
What are
a
you
lot.
buying?
What are you
What are
buying?
you selling?
Bro, before I had to fight that little Caesar looking dude, there's that bridge you have to cross, and he's on the other end of it. And like you just before that area, there's like there's just a bunch of zombies. So I'm just in the mode of clearing them out. And on my first playthrough of this on PlayStation 2, I get to the bridge and I see something moving over there, and I just pull out like the sniper, the long range one, whatever the fuck it is. I'm like, I'm not taking any chances, and I just snipe him in the head. I walk over, it's the merchant's body. I stare at it for like 30 minutes and try like figuring out how to like go back to the autosave or something, and I realize I didn't even save for like 4 chapters or something. Like it's just so much time wasted to go back.
Damn.
Try fighting the boss, I just get my ass handed to me, and I
Game just
just
gets
don't finish the
nerfed.
game. I just don't play the game. I just stop playing the game. I just fucked myself over so hard.
Damn, bro, you said Little Caesar guy, and all I could think
Yeah.
about was
Yeah,
All you
that's
can
what
think
I
about is,
pictured too.
oh
Like
no.
my mind went to pizza immediately.
Yeah.
Pizza.
It's just this little short ass looking Spanish dude.
Is that guy?
That's the
The
enemy.
George
I think
Washington
he's
hat.
Greek.
Oh man.
Is he Greek? Well, because you're in a Spanish village in the 4th game, I think.
Oh, I was talking about the little Caesar guy.
Wait, that'd be
Oh.
that'd be Italian, right? That's Caesar's from Rome.
Caesar's from Rome, yeah, so I guess
But he's got
Italian.
a toga on.
Romans had
This is
togas.
confusing.
I don't know if they're called togas, but Romans and Greeks wore similar. They had similar fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Gotta start a toga party.
Speaking
You
of
gotta do a
Roman
toga
Greece,
podcast.
do you guys have a preference between Rome and Greece and the pantheon of their gods and the lore and stuff, the mythology behind them? Or
Ooh.
preference? Favorite?
Um,
I really
Gotta
like
go
the
with the
Greek gods.
OGs.
Are they the
Bruce
OGs?
Lee.
Yeah, Greek came first. Greece came first, right? Yeah. I don't know history. I'm bad.
shit.
Although I do like the Romulus and Remus myth, like the wolf, the boys raised by wolves. I think it was.
Mhm.
Hmm.
That's Roman.
Yeah.
I fuck with Greece.
I'm gonna keep this long pause in.
Just keep the pause. Fuck, bro. What?
I'm gonna keep the pause in.
I guess it was. Gonna keep it in what?
I'm gonna keep the pause in, and I'm gonna put a riser in there, and then as soon as the riser builds to like the peak, it's just gonna be Brody going, "Yeah, I like Grease."
Like, oh, that's good. That's good. That's good. Keep that in. I was gonna say maybe I asked that too broad. Like, do you have like a favorite story out of either side? That's probably a better question to ask. Right? Point of
I
mythology.
played the game Hades recently that goes super in depth with a lot of like the Greek gods and things, and I thought that was it's okay. I didn't watch it. I didn't play it recently enough to have some story ready to roll, but
Hmm?
I don't know, I like Medusa and like all the lore, I guess, behind her.
I mean, Medusa's super aesthetic. Snakes for hair. She's meant to be
Yeah.
super hot. Makes sense.
Hmm.
That's one where she, um, her and Athena have like a competition to see who can weave the best, right?
Um,
Or am I thinking of? Oh no, that might be Arachne. I guess if I had a favorite, it would be like either Narcissus or Echo, just because I guess they're really like I don't know how to. There's a word I'm looking for. I can't find it, but it's just a story that applies to any point in time, I guess.
it's like very like relevant.
Yeah, obviously Narcissus is just worrying too much about yourself isn't good, and I actually don't remember the details of Echo. I just remembered that I liked it.
I remember being 12 and watching a movie called Earth to Echo. That was good.
I think Echo liked Narcissus, and Narcissus never paid attention to Echo, and Echo lost her voice, so she could only repeat what Narcissus said. All he talked about was himself.
that makes sense with the name. That's fun.
Yeah, I think it's something like that. I don't remember the details though. I mean, actually, I mean, when you think about it, there's a lot of relationships like that where like one person only cares about themselves and the other person just mirrors whatever they do and whatever they like and that sort of thing, you know?
Yeah.
It does apply.
Mhm. My cat was mirroring me today earlier. I was
Oh, were they?
I was doing some working out and I did some sit-ups and then she got on her back and started like pushing her paws up
Oh
into the
no.
air.
Oh no. That's tight, bro. You should film that.
It was awesome.
Oh,
Got a
Kitty
workout.
P90X.
Yeah. Workout class
Look.
going on.
Brody, you're working out now?
I
Should
try
get,
to. Nothing too crazy, but some running and then some calisthenic stuff.
get like a little punching bag and like wiggle a string in front of it so she's hitting the punching bag.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, yeah.
We just got a scratching post for our cat that looks like a little like couch so she can sit on it because she likes to sit on our chairs and like our couch and we'll like put her arm on the armrest and look like a person. So I'm excited for this to come in with the full effect of it.
There was this one great god, and he was very emo. And there was a great rap
Narcissus?
goddess. Yeah, and this rap goddess, and they worked together, and then they created emo rap, and now we've been plagued with it.
I'll bet. It's kind of a plague. Is emo rap one of the four horsemen?
Yeah, it is. That's the start of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, I guess we're already halfway there.
The start of the apocalypse was the Spins 808 on top of an open tuning guitar.
Oh
Damn.
no. I mean, I don't know if I've ever actually been like listened to any emo rap. Like I didn't Nick, you introduced me to like Sad Boys and stuff and I liked like some of the songs, but
Yeah,
I don't
like
know. It didn't fully resonate with me.
no, fair enough. What
It influenced me though.
what shit did I show you that you liked? Like what
I mean, in
artists?
terms of like not emo rap, but emo music, the band you showed me that the most had an impact on me would be Dance Gavin Dance.
Hey, okay.
Specifically Johnny Craig. Johnny Craig I really
Okay.
like. And
Nice.
Tillian. Tillian's
Fuck
good.
yeah. That makes me so happy. That's my favorite band.
I think I mean I like Johnny's voice and I like Tillian's voice. I don't know. I used to like Tillian's more, but now I don't know because both so good. I don't know if I have a favorite.
I was always a Kurt stan. That was my favorite era of Dance Gavin Dance.
Dude, they were like on some psych rock type shit for those
Right?
projects. That shit was
I remember they were about to drop an album and Fantano was reviewing it and we were watching it together and you were just upset by the shit he was saying.
bro,
about DGD.
yeah, no, so
You're like, oh, it's DGD, so you can just expect it.
yeah, he gave it a fucking I think he either gave it a 0 or he gave it a 1. And I was like, you are on crack, bro. It was fuck. What album was that?
Was it one of the ones with one of the strawberry swishers on it or no?
Yeah, no, I think that was the one with Death of a
Death of a
Strawberry.
Strawberry. Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
was Instant Gratification.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, Fantano reviewed Instant Gratification. It's the only Dance Gavin Dance review he's done. And he gave it a 1. And I wanted to die.
To be the only DGD album that he reviews, that's an interesting choice for it.
Right?
I would
That's
love
what
to
I'm
see it.
saying.
I guess it was just
Yeah.
because it was coming out at the time. Maybe he didn't want to review an old one. He wanted to be relevant.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
feel like that album specifically had like so much pop influence because I think that's the
Mhm.
second album that they did with Tillian, right?
I think so. Well, it's weird that he like because I remember watching it and him specifically saying, "Well, it's Dance Gavin Dance. You can expect these certain traits and these certain progressions in the songs." But you're saying that's the first one you ever reviewed. I didn't know that. So why? It seems weird that he's speaking as an authority on something that maybe he's only casually listened to before.
Yeah, I feel like
Mhm.
he's only like touched the surface and maybe listened to like the quote unquote hits.
Right. The biggest songs by them, I guess.
Yeah, because I feel like yeah, going into listening to Dance Gavin Dance, you kind of like know what to expect, but they definitely throw curveballs every once in a while, especially when you listen from like one project to the next. And
I
with
don't
them
think.
having so many changes in like lineup,
Sure. Well,
it's
the fact that their vocalist changes so much, I think, is an attribute rather than a detriment. It
no,
makes
yeah,
them
me too.
more refreshing.
I agree with
And
that
as much as
100%.
I say I like Tillian or you like Johnny or you say you like Kurt, like if they're stuck in like one, I don't know how to say it, but like I'm just saying it's better when there's like a movement. It's like still water versus moving water. Like one's better than the
Yeah.
other. You know?
Totally.
Yeah.
Keeping things fresh.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And obviously every band can't do that, but I think that's what makes DGD a little different than other bands.
Hmm.
Better in terms of that. I don't know about. I think you and Quentin used to talk a lot about, obviously the other members whenever they switched out or something like that. I don't really remember any of that. I only remember the
Yeah,
vocalists.
there was a certain period in time where John Mess, I think it was either their self-titled album or Happiness. I think it was Happiness. When Kurt was in the band, but John Mess left for an album. So Will Swan, who plays guitar, did all of like the heavier vocals on
That
that
was on
album.
Happiness, right?
Yeah, I think that was Happiness. But yeah, that album like sticks out like a sore thumb in comparison to like everything else in their discography, and I think that is definitely one of the attributes. I remember there was an interview that I watched where it's Will and Kurt, and they're on a balcony, and they're like, I think they're either tripping dick on like acid or shrooms. But the whole time, like all the questions that they're getting are like pretty simple, straightforward questions, but every answer was like super introspective and
That
like
sounds about right.
yeah, it was like super out there, but I was like, holy fuck, like these dudes are awesome. So
DGG's cool. I mean, I don't see. I'm not deep in that on that side of music. Like before, you showed me DGD like in that realm of music. The only thing I'd ever listened to was like Black Veil Brides, or I didn't really enjoy Black Veil Brides, to be honest. I only listened to them because one of my friends really liked them and tried to get me into them. And then I Vic Fuente from Pierce the Veil. Like that was the one band that I remember distinctly enjoying a lot. And I
fucking
liked Isles and Glaciers when that super band was formed.
Oh, that was so good.
yes.
That was like the epitome of that era of music.
Yeah, it encapsulates everything that was like perfect about that time period.
Yeah, all that music's really good.
I'm
I
so
could
glad
listen
you brought
if I
that
could
up.
only listen to one band for the rest of my life, I could live with Pierce the Veil being that one band.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, DGD as
Mhm.
well.
They aged so well. Actually, I had a Pierce the Veil song come on shuffle the other day while I was driving, and I haven't gone out to listen to them in like years. And I still knew every word, and it like not even just for nostalgia's sake. Like the songs are just really well written and interesting and good.
Yeah, that
And
that band has
sorry,
hits.
it
Right?
does have this. I was gonna say in terms of bands that don't do anything sus, or I guess lead singers perhaps because they're the most known for doing sus things. Vic Vic's always seemed like a really nice dude. I'm pretty sure he has a wife. Like I follow him on Insta, and every once in a while I see them doing things together. He seems like I don't know. Like I don't get any sus vibes from him. I don't think Vic has ever done anything bad, but a lot of these other people do, whether it's drugs or
Yeah, no,
other illegal
he
activities.
seems like a wholesome guy.
I really
Yeah.
like Vic.
I don't know if it's Discord or if it's your mic, but it's like doing this weird glitch thing, like just a
I'm
little
sorry.
bit. Like it sounds like it's rattling. It might just be. Are you using your external mic or are you using like your internal mic?
I'm using an external mic. It's actually on it's on this like little desk that's kind of wobbling. I think I keep hitting my mic, so it might literally be wobbling, and that's what you're hearing.
That might be it.
Yeah, it just might be the cord or something. Are you on a Yeti?
Yeah.
Yeah, it might be the cord. My fucking anytime I'm on
Yeti
FL,
gang.
anytime I'm on FL, the cord, if it like gets a little loose, it does some weird shit, and it's kind of what it sounds like.
My bad.
No, you're golden. Sounds fine now.
Speaking
you,
of
Evan?
music, what about your favorite album cover?
Ooh,
Oh.
Because I know Dance Gavin Dance has some pretty cool covers, but I'm curious.
Yeah. Oh fuck. Okay.
I don't think it would be like a band for me. I think because when you asked that, the first thing that popped in my head was like the acid rap album cover for Chance.
Ooh.
Because I just really like the colors on that. I really like the entire design. It's super cool to me. It's not too complicated either. It's not like because like thinking about a lot of the album covers for like DGD and these other bands, it gets super deep. Like there's a lot of
That's
details,
true.
and it's not a bad thing for me, but it makes it like the less simple it is, the less easier it is to like bring it to the forefront of my memory with clarity.
Telling me
know?
you don't like The Big Day by Chance the Rapper.
The album cover is kind of cool.
It is actually pretty cool. I like it. Okay, I like that one. I respect that one. I have to go with Donda.
Donda?
Kanye
Has
West.
Donda even dropped yet?
No, it's not out. I'm trolling.
And I don't even know if it exists.
It may not exist, to be honest.
I know there's been live streams of it, but I don't know. It's not
Who knows?
happening.
Is Donda even meant to be by? I don't know. I keep hearing things about it. This
Apparently,
project is it?
Kanye is
think-
like not even on like some of the
Kanye.
songs.
Okay.
I think what's going to happen is he's teased Donda to release every time I've dropped a single recently, and then that just steals all the thunder from that. And now it's supposed to drop the day that my album releases. And
Just delay it for like a
That
day.
is pain.
So here's what I'm thinking will probably happen is it won't release, and then I'll go however long until I drop my next song. I don't know when that'll be, but that's when he'll come out of the woodwork again and be like, "All right, guys, for real this time."
Real.
And I'm cursed.
Oh no.
Fuck, I'm trying to think of what my favorite album cover is. Cause there's a few that come to mind, but I don't know if any of them are like necessarily my favorite.
Mhm.
I'm there with you.
I really, as far as like hip hop albums go, I really like the simplicity of a lot of Beano's album covers. Like Awaken My Love is fucking beautiful. I love the blue tones on that.
True. True.
Because the internet, simple, just him in a fucking button up, like looking clean.
The cover for
I-
Redbone is amazing. I don't know if that was on a project or a single. I forget, but
yeah, I think that's
it'd be
the blue
really
one,
good.
right?
Oh, is it with
Yeah.
the girl with her hair and shit? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah, but as far as like bands go, I really like a lot of like We Came as Romans. I like their album covers a lot. They're very cohesive with one another. I think they use like the same artist for all their stuff. But my favorite might be probably like Downtown Battle Mountain 2 by Dance Gavin Dance.
Oh, is
It
that the
just-
one with the white background?
Yeah, it's like a white, like it looks like a kind of like a city or like a town, and then there's a bunch of people flying around on animals, and that's like the animals and the people are like the only things that are in
Right.
color.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think I
But
remember that one.
yeah, those I really like the artist that does those. I think he's Swedish, or I think he might be Swedish. His name's Mattias Adolfsson. Super talented, cool guy. His
Oh, yeah,
stuff's
that
kind
one
of
looks cool.
similar to like Far Side Gallery as far as like the aesthetics of his art. But
Oh, that's fun. That's
Yeah.
hilarious.
right, I really like that style.
I mess with that.
Mine is got to be Disintegration by The Cure.
Ooh, let me hold on.
I actually,
I'm gonna look that up right now.
I don't know what's happening on that cover. Maybe they're underwater,
Yeah, no, I like that.
but
that
there's a
art
bunch of
lot.
flowers all over the place. I don't know. It's so intriguing.
what's it called again, Evan? I fucked it up.
Disintegration. Disintegration. Ion. Oh my
There
god.
you go.
The Cure.
I typed in the Q. Well, whatever. It still popped up, I think.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I never won
Oh,
the
that looks,
spelling bee.
that looks tight. I don't know. I don't type enough. I fuck it up all the time. What album did Answer come out on? I also like that cover art by Tyler. It's
Wolf.
Wolf. Yeah, I
It's
like the cover art
funny.
on Wolf too.
That
I
one's
was
iconic.
I was trying to think of an artist to work with, to do cover art for an album that I want to work on, for the later part of this year. And I was looking at a bunch of that dude's work for like inspiration or influence because I really like that
Right.
cover art as well.
Yeah, the cover art's really good.
Nice. I think mine. I don't know. I think a lot of it for me. I can't know if I could pick a single one, but I think a lot of it has to do with like the context of like that compared to the music and like the message that the artist is trying to put through. If that makes sense. Like
Like how
I
it
don't
pieced
know.
together as a package almost.
Exactly.
That
Like
makes
for
sense.
I think a couple good examples would be like so like the Blades album 333. The album artwork is super intricate and in depth and like crazy, all kinds of little details, like very over the top. And I think that like matches the I don't know, like the ethos of Blade and the whole trash island kind of thing
Right.
and like materialism and everything. I think that on the other hand of that, Sigur Rós is one of my favorite bands. And a lot of their stuff is a lot of their album covers are very like still and tranquil and like beautiful colors and things. And I think that really reflects their music in a good way.
You always look at things like that, like when you're listening to music. Are you like, how does this cover art, I guess, blend with everything in the song as well?
I try to, yeah. I feel like a lot of it is like it's like the package, and I view like the music, the art, the person, anything around it as like different mediums of like the same thing, if that makes sense.
Well, because I was thinking like there can be a song that I hear that I really like, and then if the cover art's mids, I don't think it affects the way I feel about the song. But if the cover art's really good, I think it makes me like it more.
I can agree with that. It definitely I wouldn't be like, yeah, this song's great, but I hate the cover art. Fuck that. But
Yeah.
I can agree that it definitely adds to a lot if it's good.
The same with a music video as well. Like,
Yeah,
I don't care about watching music videos, but if I see a really good music video and it's a really good song, like those two things together, of course it's gonna make you feel hype.
exactly. If it like adds to the universe of that.
There's a fucking album that I'm trying to find, and I don't remember what the band is called or what the album's called, but I remember the art was like really interesting to me. Um, it was what's the dude's name? Ninja from Die Antwoord. It was a band that he was in before Die Antwoord.
I don't know. He's in what?
Huh?
I don't know. He's in a band.
Yeah,
Me
or
either.
it might have been like a solo project, but I'm trying to find it. It was the Constructus Corporation. I remember they had this whole thing where the album's called The Ziggurat, and I remember the whole album had this story about like a mall that exists in the sky or like some weird shit.
Right.
But I remember there was like a whole like conspiracy theory like surrounding uh like the idea or concept around that album, but the cover art is just this little robot that looks like his stomach is made out of like a spring, and he's like
Mhm.
reaching up towards this big red ball, and that's all the cover art is, but it looks super fucking cool to me for some reason.
I'm looking at it now. I love that.
Because you were just saying that it spawned a conspiracy theory. I was thinking, I felt like there's a lot of, especially with like punk or rock bands, in the '90s, like cover art and even like the mood or contents of a song caused like a lot more of an uproar than it does nowadays. Like obviously with songs like WAP Out, the only people it pisses off is like Ben Shapiro and nobody cares. But back in the day, like if you even like sort of mentioned something that was ungodly, like it would cause a lot more of an uproar and people would just be like, I think they signed a deal with the devil. That's why they're so famous and making so much money and like all that sort of thing. I wonder.
Yeah, nah,
Stop
even
that.
like even with like Nevermind by Nirvana with the baby swimming with his dick out, like I feel like people were probably really outraged when that came out. They're like, "Oh my god, there's like a penis on this," you know what I mean? So,
I wonder. I feel like the bar has been pushed so much to that at this point, people aren't really like shocked by as much. I wonder what kind of things will be happening when we're like in our like 40s or 50s. That will be like, oh, I can't believe they're doing this. Like, how
Because
can
there's
they?
always
yeah.
people pushing the border. So like what now? Like what
Yeah.
do you have to write an album about? Do you literally have to be like write an album about being a pedophile and then people are like, whoa, 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 hold
Right.
on. Have to like write about murder. Like I feel like even if you wrote an entire album like from the perspective of a murderer about like killing innocent people, like that would be way less of an issue than like writing a song about
Have you heard
well,
of the
death metals or
Killers?
something.
Well, there are bands like Cannibal Corpse and things like that.
Oh,
That
yeah, I know, but they're like death metal bands, and that's like people. That's not. I mean, of course, I'm sure there's people that it upsets and that they don't like that type of music. They say it's not music, but that's a different context. Like, think of like a pop song. Like, if there was a pop song about someone murdering someone, or if there was a pop song about someone raping someone, like those sort of things. I feel like that's the only way you could push the line nowadays.
There's an album that came out in the 90s called The Dawn of the Black Hearts, and it's by a band called Mayhem. It's a black metal band from
Yeah, Mayhem's crazy though.
yeah, the
Mhm.
cover art is the guitarist. It's his
Oh,
dead
that.
body after he
I
killed
heard
himself.
that he killed himself.
Yeah.
No, he was murdered.
Was
You
he
sure he was murdered?
Yeah, the bassist killed him.
really?
Really?
Yeah,
And then,
and then they took the photo.
That's
so
fucked.
foul.
Or maybe
yeah.
hold up, fake news, fake news. Wait, let's Google this. What's the album title again?
The Dawn of the
Dawn of the
Black
Black Heart.
Hearts.
I'll let you Google this one.
Yeah, I'll do this. Don't worry, I got this,
You're gonna
guys.
get put on a list, Evan.
Yeah, I'm probably on a few already. They're after me, guys. My tax evasions, you know,
Damn.
miss
I don't know.
controversial.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe like it would change in a way you wouldn't expect.
Okay,
Sort of
you
how
guys are right. He
people.
did kill himself. I heard a rumor that he was murdered.
Oh. Like, cause maybe it'll be something where like there's a new thing or like a new discovery and understanding, like sort of how like there's this uh currently like there's this like renaissance for um what is it, atypical people and LGBTQ people, like all this sort of thing going on right now, and like the standard for what's right and wrong is changing, because like obviously the old standards were wrong. Maybe like and it'll affect the future music in the same way. Like there's things right now that we think are okay, and you'll make a song about that sort of thing, and in the future it'll be like that was fucked up. I don't think it'll be that serious, but like so like because like they were just like child abuse in terms of like punishing your kids for doing things was still acceptable like throughout the 90s, and that was only starting to get like pushback in the 2000s as
That's
far as
true.
I'm aware. So like
Yeah.
just it's keep things like that just keep subtly changing. Like you don't know what's not okay until it's not okay.
Yeah, until it's like presented in front of you.
You just think you grow up with these things that objectively are probably pretty bad, but you don't understand that until you're much older and someone points it out to you, I guess.
Very
It's
true.
crazy to think about. And that can be applied
Well-
towards anything too.
Yeah, it's not just music. Well, because I'm thinking like all these, I'm sure like everything stems from your childhood and it makes the person you are. I'm just wondering like 'cause people grow up different in every generation and that affects how things are going to progress for everyone, I guess. I'm just wondering what that means for music and
Yeah.
like how kids today growing up seeing the current state of music and the current state of the world, the childhood they're experiencing are going to take that and blend it with their creative energy and make the next generation of music. Not trying to not trying to be dumb deep. I just actually I'm like curious about that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's interesting to think about like the progression within that and like what's to come of it, you know?
What's going to be considered like the future greats and what's going to be like considered taboo and that sort of thing in terms of music and bands do.
Mhm.
Because like right now there's I don't I'm not trying to talk about cancel culture, but I just mean there's I'm not gonna say whether it's right or wrong. There's just people that are doing things that they shouldn't have been doing and they're getting caught. So people are conducting themselves better now than they used to, which is a good thing. I'm wondering like how that's gonna change everything in context. Or for like how people act at shows. Like you don't like you're not gonna I don't think you're gonna see 14-year-old girls like going to like their favorite band show anymore and going backstage and doing anything they shouldn't be doing. Like that sort of thing's done, which is good. I'm wondering what the
Yeah.
next version of that is, I guess.
And it's crazy to think that just within even just like 20, 30 years that went from like, oh yeah, that's rock and roll to like that's a huge no. Like it's
Yeah.
crazy to think what like the huge difference of what was acceptable back then compared to now. And like I don't know, man.
Well,
Shit's
I feel like
crazy.
people always thought that sort of thing was wrong, which is why it wasn't like done out in the open. But
Yeah.
those people in those circles knew it was happening. Like
Yeah,
the people that owned
exactly.
the buildings, the people that were in the bands, their bandmates, even if they weren't participating in that behavior, everyone knew that sort of thing was happening and they thought it was okay.
Yeah, and I think that's what kind of led, like bringing this full circle with like all the stuff we're talking about with like emo music and like just the culture in general is like, I
Hmm.
think that's what Warped Tour's downfall was as a festival and like as a whole was,
Just the bad culture of
Exactly.
Warped Tour.
yeah, there were so many artists that were on the come up that would be put on to like a
Right.
big tour or a festival like that that would abuse their power and then
You just
like,
find out about like I heard that's what
yeah,
happened with Austin Jones. Like wasn't he gonna be on Warped Tour or he was in the middle of Warped Tour or something when all that stuff happened?
I think they had him on like a select few dates or something.
Yeah.
They had him do like a leg of the tour. But yeah, because I remember that whole thing happened. I watched something recently about that too, about
And as
like that
far as
whole.
I'm pointing oh sorry.
No, what are you saying? Sorry.
I was gonna say as far as I'm pointing out like changes and stuff and how all these people were doing things that are shitty that kind of make them pieces of shit. I think other than I think a lot like a large part of emo culture in general is the fact that it stems from troubled use and misguided use. Like people that from a very young age are dealing with things that they shouldn't have to be dealing with, like mental illness and whatever their home life is like, whether or not they're struggling in school or not, whether or not they have any friends. You take that sort of thing, and then some of these people are actually creative and they're able to build a following. They're able to make music. They're able to make something beautiful out of their pain, but they've never actually addressed these terrible things that happen to them, and it ends up leading them on a path to doing things that they shouldn't be doing. Like there's some
Mhm.
people that are just emotionally stunted, so it doesn't matter
Yeah.
if you're a rock star or not. You just end up being at a point where like you don't actually think there's anything wrong with you talking to a 16-year-old or 14-year-old girl at your show because you think everything you've done up to this point, everything you've triumphed over, like maybe you think you deserve that, and obviously that's wrong. But I feel like the way to avoid all that stuff in the future is already being done now because like people are taking mental health a lot more seriously. That's
Yeah,
Yeah,
good.
that
I think
shift.
that's it. I feel like a lot of people it's like I feel like each generation and like musical generation like people in general to like build off of the next one like you'll learn something or like for example the talk of mental health and everything is so serious now that when before that would have just been brushed under the rug or not talked about now it's an open conversation and people know how to deal with things better and I feel like through time people just learn more of how to deal with things and whatnot.
I mean, not to say that mental health for women is any different from men. I don't think men were taken as seriously in terms of the things they were struggling with for all of history until now. And I know we have our own advantages, but I think it's better now that it is being handled properly in the same way that it like was always taken well, it wasn't always taken seriously for women, but it was sooner than it was for men.
Yeah, and I think that's a. Sorry, what were you saying? Sorry.
I was pretty much. I was just gonna say I think mental health is it's doing us right. But no,
And I think that's like a big positive when it comes to like emo, like this whole like emo like pop punk music revival, and it like becoming like quote unquote mainstream. Like I think that's huge in a sense that now like people are really being exposed to like really sad, dark, depressing lyrics, and like people are kind of like getting in to the, like they're just getting insight into like what it's like to have a mental illness and like what it's like to like struggle mentally and emotionally. And it's there's not so much what's the word I'm thinking of, stigma. There's not so much stigma surrounding it anymore. So I think
people wear their issues like a badge of honor now, and I don't mean that in a bad way. Like I think you should, because that's the only way to improve.
It's an open conversation now, which is great.
Yeah. No, I think it's super sick that it's become more acceptable to like talk about those things and be so like outward and open.
At the same time, I think with like, because I was before we even started recording, I was saying how I think like emo culture became this, became this, became this, became that. I think a lot of the reason for that progressioning was like people's gradual acceptance of these others in society, like the people that felt different, the people that had just struggled all the time and dealing with this mental illness. Like we're to the point today where there isn't. I don't think emo culture is the same way it was like when it was originating. Like it's not as condensed. It's not as neat. It's not something you can easily label. And a part of the reason for that is because everything's so open now. There's no need for these people to congregate in like a segregated community anymore. It's sort of just it influences everything in society, including pop and rap. Like that's how emo rap came about and that sort of thing, which is good. But also I think it takes some of the zest away from the potency of the culture. But that's probably for the better.
Yeah, there's definitely there's probably a huge list of pros and cons when it comes to like the evolution of emo and like what's to come in the future from it, and like the change in culture and just everything surrounding it. But I don't know. I'm hopeful that there's more pros than cons, but no, there's definitely a lot.
It's
of
gotta
cons
be
as well.
because I don't see people complaining about it as much. To me, I just think it's the culture's been watered down, and it's not like it's been watered down with nothing and it's just dissipating. It's just getting mixed in with everything else, and that's fine and well. But I don't know what that means for what's like how it's gonna continue progressing. Like I think it'd be very sad if eventually all music's just like sort of like they're connected in such a way that it all feels like one genre, even though there's like thin lines of separation. Like I think I much prefer there being hard lines.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yo,
Hamilton.
I'm so fucking sorry.
No, you're golden.
Yo,
bro.
what's up, Amy?
I bet you're glowing right now.
What's up?
What's up?
Damn.
I just woke up. What have y'all been talking to or talking about? My bad.
Adam Sandler a lot.
We talk about Adam Sandler, coffee, Jim Carrey, emo culture, our favorite album covers.
We went on a long rant about movies.
Yeah, we talked about movies for probably like 45 minutes.
Yeah. What the fuck? What was I doing?
Snoozing.
Okay,
it's all good, bro.
Right now we're talking about emo culture and music still, like the progression of it.
What's good, Brody?
Yeah, what's up? Good to talk to you. I think this is the first time.
We've never talked.
This is a beautiful moment.
It is. It's almost as beautiful as that song that you posted yesterday.
Why,
I didn't even know he posted a song. I'm gonna check
No,
it out.
on his Instagram. I like the video snippet thing.
A little teaser,
Sounds beautiful, bro.
Thank you. It drops at midnight tonight. I'm excited.
Hell yeah.
I'm hyped, bro.
Exciting. I think your mic is doing the thing again, Hamilton.
Oh my god. Like
Just
the
it's
glitch.
not. Oh, I think. Hold on. Say something.
Yo.
It just did it, but for a second it was like crispy. It was clean as hell.
Let me know. Is it glitching? Because if it does, I can just restart my computer.
It is a little bit. Are you using an external mic?
No, I'm using like a Apollo interface and then my Newman. I can probably just restart if it's like happening right now, I'll just restart my computer and it will probably fix itself.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hell
Is
yeah.
it better? Dude,
Yeah,
I
it's
pay,
Yeah,
not
you're not cutting out at
Mikey.
all.
pay all
Let's
this money for
go.
a fucking interface and nice mic, and it doesn't even work. So
Kick it in the
we lit.
balls.
I will. And
Damn.
I'm gonna go get my fucking Yeti back.
Hey, there you go. I'm using my
That's
Yeti.
what we're using. We're all using our Yetis. Except Brody. He's fancy.
Fancy with my laptop mic.
He's very fancy.
Damn.
Apollo was not fucking with Discord.
Damn.
So annoying. But enough about my audio issues.
Since we've been talking about music, I was just curious, like, who would be your favorite 90s hip hop artist? Like during that era of the lyrical hip hop that arose.
Ooh, okay.
That's a tough question, man.
Hmm.
Yeah,
My-
answer wisely.
All my '90s influence comes from like the music my mom listened to, and she listened to a lot of R&B. So I just like reggae or R&B type shit. Like I don't even really know.
You failed.
I have to pick one.
Yes.
Oh man.
Oh, you know who I think it might be? I think it might be Mario.
Mario?
It was a great
think
game.
It's something.
What is that? Not his name? Is it Marion? Did I say it wrong?
No,
I think
no,
it's Mario.
Mario's right. There's Mario. There's Mario and are you thinking of Marion?
No, I'm thinking of Mario. I think.
Yeah, I think
Try to find
Mario
the
was
song
early
quickly.
2000s, right?
Was it? Oh, am I wrong? Am I
Yeah, he was born in 1986.
My bad.
No, you're golden.
Hmm.
Mario's good though. That's
90s
kind of like
artist.
90s, early 2000s, same shape.
Come on, Keem.
What?
I think I got mine. It's a tie though. It's either Ghostface Killer from Wu-Tang Clan
Mm,
or Andre 3000.
Oh.
that is hard.
Fuck.
I love Andre 3000.
That is a good one. Fuck.
Dang.
Can't even think about like the 90s, bro.
I'm gonna cheat a little
I
bit.
don't want to cheat. Well, I looked up just to see
Do your
like who was
thing.
an available option, but I don't, because I don't want to say Biggie and I don't want to say Tupac because
I was
I
about to
like
say
them, but I don't like it enough to claim that they were my favorite.
You could
Same,
always
I
go
was-
with Sir Mix-a-Lot. That's a safe choice.
Yeah.
Hey, Nick, is it cool if I leave?
Yeah. Do your
Oh,
thing,
man.
man.
I gotta go eat dinner.
Oh,
Wait,
see
who's
you,
your
man.
favorite artist though?
Oh,
Yeah.
I was gonna say Notorious B.I.G.
Okay,
Of
hell yeah.
course.
Biggie's good. I
Anyway.
wasn't deep into it, so I can't
Yeah.
say that. I'd be a fake
Same.
Fair
fan.
enough.
All right, but I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for having me on. I'll talk to y'all.
Love you, homie.
See you
All right,
next
love you,
episode.
man.
Love y'all too.
Good talking to you,
All
Evan.
right, peace.
Later, Evan.
See ya.
Bye.
I think it's a little bit cheating because it's early 2000s, but I didn't really listen to too much 90s hip hop, so I don't want to like say something I'm not super knowledgeable on. But one of my favorites of all time has to be Nujabes.
Oh,
Nujabes, yeah?
okay.
Yeah, Nujabes, so good, and I think it's really cool that they So most of the rappers on their songs were from Cincinnati, and I think that
Word?
seeing like an early example of like people working online from different places, kind of, I don't know, considering how all of us do our work, it's cool to see that happening
Right.
then. And the music's just beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really
Damn.
good. I'm kind of upset that I'm looking at this list of 90s artists, and the ones that I recognize and know I listen to the most were like Criss Cross and Salt and Pepper.
Chris Cross,
I guess-
yeah.
If I had to say
Cross.
I had a favorite 90s artist, it would probably be Criss Cross because that's the one I listened to the most when I was
Chris
younger.
Cross is sick.
Nice.
What about you, Hamilton?
I don't know. Does 50 Cent count? Like, no.
Yeah.
That's
He
like
does, he
earlier.
does.
Okay.
Oh, that's 90s.
We're doing the same cheating.
Yeah, I was. Because I was gonna say Biggie too, but I could be like a fake fan
So I want to say Biggie and Tupac because like obviously their
because
music's
their
good, but
music
like
is fucking good.
if you ask me to name a single song by them, I could name literally a single song by them.
I'm
Yeah.
surprised nobody said DMX.
I don't like DMX that much. I know he's good, but I just
Damn,
personally don't like.
No,
he's
I
dead,
don't
bro.
think
You
he-
can't say that.
no.
Oh, he's a good rapper. His music's good. I just don't like it. I just don't like it.
Oh,
What am I supposed to do? What can I do?
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good.
Oh, I think Missy Elliott is up there for me
Yeah,
too.
she's fire.
Oh yeah, for sure.
My
for
mom
sure.
always slaps her.
Fuck yeah.
Classic.
I remember Common. When's Common? Is he 2000s or 90s?
Common. Oh, I think Common might be like 99. I'm gonna Google that.
Common's pretty good.
Yeah, Common's sick. Underrated, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, 90s.
Okay.
Fuck yeah, okay. That's a really good one. You didn't have to do all that, dude.
Yeah. I had to say something good after I said I didn't like DMX.
What about Nas? Nas is
Nas?
fucking good.
Nas.
Nas is
Yeah.
great.
I like Lil Nas
Nomadic.
X. Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
Old Town Road. That's a yeah. Let's go.
Oh, we were talking about music videos earlier, and I guess there's this dude on TikTok that has been like clipping the audio from Montero with like anime openings, and I think that shit's so good. Like I could watch that all day.
Oh hell yeah. I like
Montero
that.
goes perfect with anime openings. Apparently, I love it.
That's tight.
So we went through like a phase where like you were getting really into math rock, and you showed me like Ucho Combini and stuff. And isn't like the American math rock stuff from like the Midwest?
Yeah, a lot of it like a lot of it's from like kind of I mean there's probably a lot in Ohio too, but I feel like a lot of it's from like Milwaukee and like Wisconsin and like weird states that not a lot of people talk about.
Mhm.
Like,
And
I
that
think
music's so pretty.
right, I think Tiny Moving Parts is from Milwaukee.
They're so
Oh,
good.
so good.
Yeah. They're
Yeah.
fucking
Are they
gas.
math rock? I
Yeah.
didn't even know.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah.
Damn, Uchu Convini though. I miss that band, bro.
So good.
They put out I think one album, maybe like an EP, and then just dipped.
Yeah.
Damn.
Band's amazing. I actually found them on 4chan.
Really?
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I found them and I was fucking frequenting the music forum on there.
Are they posting in Mew?
Last time you and Keem were talking about how you would upload your music on there.
Yeah, we used to
Yeah, and
drop
they
our
would-
SoundCloud.
And they would
SoundCloud links.
flame us.
I bet. That's
Yeah.
They
crazy.
would flame. Well, I don't know if they were flaming Nick, but I'd get flamed.
Oh no, I'd get flamed too. Do you remember the Philly show on the Oliver Francis tour? That guy that came up to us and was like, "Yeah, like I've been fucking with y'all since 4chan. Like I found you guys on
What?
SoundCloud."
What?
thread."
I don't
You
know
remember
if I
that?
remember that.
What a
I don't
statement.
remember that.
Yeah, there's a guy in Philly that came up and he got a picture with both of us, and he was like, "Oh yeah, like I've been fucking with you guys for a minute, like a couple years now. Like I remember when you guys were posting on 4chan," and I was like, "What the fuck?"
It's
Because we never
wild, bro.
we never publicly had mentioned that we did that.
Yeah, I don't think we talked about it really. So that's crazy. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
A
out.
real one. Yeah.
I wonder what that guy's up to today. That's nuts.
Probably contemplating the
Probably on
intricacies
4chan.
of emo rap.
Probably,
Yeah.
probably on 4chan.
True.
Damn.
I wonder what the state of 4chan is today.
Bro, I don't even.
Who knows?
I don't even.
I don't want to know.
So I was gonna ask you, what was it like to transition from emo culture to scene culture? Was it a conscious decision?
When
And
you
did it
say
happen-
scene, do you mean like scene kid scene or like this scene?
I meant I mean a little bit of both, but I mean like, because like emo and scene were very distinctly different from what I understand. But I don't fully understand it. Is the thing. So I guess I'm asking you guys, what did it mean to you, like when emo was sort of like falling off and like new things started popping up, and what was that transition? If you like went along.
I feel like with emo and scene, it was almost kind of how emo or like goth and like e-boy, e-girl is now.
Yeah.
Like I feel like a lot of kids that had like the emo look, um, and dressed that way, but listened to like the radio and like pop music and were like super outgoing and social, were kind of labeled scene kids. But then I feel like somewhere down the road, scene like became cool. Like it was like out with emo, in with scene type shit.
Right. Well, like, because I remember in
Yeah.
school, everybody had like those colored bands that were distinctly like something that scene kids would do, like the sex bands.
Oh,
and
silly
stuff.
Yeah,
bands.
silly
Bra-
bands.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the sex
Yeah.
bracelets
Yeah, I'm
before
talking about,
silly
I'm talking
bands?
about not silly
The
bands, sex
slap
bracelets.
bracelets.
You're
Yeah,
talking
the
about the
jelly ones.
yeah, the
No, I'm
jelly,
talking
the
about the
sex
ones,
Yeah.
yeah,
bracelets.
the jelly ones that people would snap, and then it's like,
Holy
oh, now you have
shit.
to suck my dick.
Yeah, holy fuck,
my
I forgot
God.
about those. I feel
Yeah.
like there was
Wearing
so
those
much
in
like
8th grade.
yeah, there was so much like talk about like, oh yeah, if you wear those, you've done this or you've done that, and if somebody snaps you, you
Right.
have to do that with
That
them. But
never happened.
yeah, it's
I mean,
like
it probably
people would
never
like
happened, but it was all like the scene emo
yeah,
kids that was like, that's who I saw doing those things and
bro.
those things.
There were kids that would wear the black ones all the time, the
Yeah.
black jelly bracelets, and
Yeah.
at my school, if you wore a certain number of those bracelets, it signified how many people you had slept with. So there were kids that would wear those black bracelets and they'd wear like 20 of them.
Just have an arm full of like,
Yeah,
That's
just
sweet.
to be like,
fuck
yeah,
so
I get around.
I
Yeah.
fuck.
fuck,
That's
bro.
crazy. I
Damn.
But
forgot about
do
the
you see the
jelly
studs on
bands.
my belt? For every stud on my belt, that's another bitch I fucked,
Right.
bro.
I feel like going back to the emo scene thing, I feel like a lot of it was, I mean, I felt like it was a natural progression through it. And I think that what scene was in hindsight was a lot of like emo culture blending with mainstream culture. Because if you think about what was going on like 2008 to 2010, it was all the
Mhm.
bright colors and fun pop music and things like that. I feel like that's
Right.
almost like parallel to the birth of like emo rap, you know, of just like
Right.
blending that with mainstream culture more.
In terms of
Yeah.
it blending with like
Yeah, that
mainstream
makes
culture, isn't that like how like it all went from being black, like goth went from being goth to pastel goth, like that sort of thing? Is that what you mean? Like when it transitioned from like emo to scene mixing with the mainstream?
Yeah, I think stylistically kind of had
Yeah.
that.
Well, because it was all about the style, from what
Mhm.
I mean, I guess not all about the style and substance, but like visually, emo culture really had an effect. Because Hot Topic blew up because of emo culture and scene culture.
Yeah.
I guess
True,
I don't know.
true.
I don't know what it's meant to be now, but mix of punk and
Mhm.
postmodern pop punk.
Who was the
Pop
first like
punk.
artist that like changed from like typical like emo to like rap emo? You'd say like who sticks out in your mind?
Name the
I don't know.
first artist.
Honestly, if we're going back like super early, I feel like even like new metal in the 2000s kind of brought that to the
Yeah.
forefront.
Mm,
I mean, as far as I know,
yeah,
the first band to start rapping was Linkin Park, but that's probably not true. It's probably not true. It
that's
was
what I
probably
grew
someone
up
before
on though. Like honestly, I remember
Same.
I
building,
thought,
building Legos to that shit.
Yo, shout
was
out Mike
there,
Shinoda.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
was there
I
someone
remember
before Linkin Park that was doing that?
I know a lot of like Slipknot and some other of the new metal stuff from like the late 90s predated that, but all generally kind of the same wave, I think.
Yeah.
But I agree. Linkin Park was also my first, like, at least personally, my first like dive into that. I remember being like 10 years old, looking up Naruto AMVs to Linkin Park songs on YouTube.
Yeah,
And
Bro, the
now I'm on
Breaking the Habit
SoundCloud.
music video too.
Yeah, on the bridge with Zabuza. That
That's fire.
that's etched in my brain.
Fuck.
archived.
It's like the first domino.
Yo, if you think about it, the first, from a technical standpoint, the first emo rap album is that collaboration album with Linkin Park and Jay-Z.
Numb Encore with Jay-Z. That is a
Yeah.
banger.
True,
Damn,
true.
bro.
Would
Well,
you
no, but
count
'cause
that?
I mean, yeah, you have to because it's with Jay-Z. I mean,
Yeah.
no, but Linkin Park was already rapping though. It was distinctly not singing. So I guess I
Yeah,
don't know. And you said metal bands were doing that, but like I don't know, but because it's like screaming and growling. I don't know if Like it might be in the cadence of rap, but if it's that was still their version of singing though, wasn't it? I don't know.
I get what you're saying. It's like the first like not like rap influences, but actual like more than just like influences of it.
Yeah.
Like a 50-50 kind of blending.
Right. I mean, it's the first thing I could think of where it's like I'm sure there were like inner city black kids that were kind of nerdy that were like, I like rap, but I also like rock, so Linkin Park is my shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I don't know. There's probably someone out there that's done like a 2-hour documentary on how this started.
Oh yeah.
Damn, I'm still trying to think of like one like pioneer artist that went from, or a band that like went from like kind of emo roots to like more of like a like scene like emo rap type type of substance.
I
No.
think it's not like entirely following that line, but I feel like Bring Me the Horizon always did an awesome job of like
Yes.
following. They didn't. I want to say following the style, but they kind of like decided what it was, and then people followed that. They're like trendsetters, but like always making the right choice to the next direction.
Yeah, they've always been ahead of the curve.
This might be
Yeah.
cap, but I remember people like mainstream people still kind of not liking rap as much, and then like things like Linkin Park and stuff like slowly introduced rap. Like Eminem, obviously Eminem's like he's a part of rap, but I just feel like Eminem coming up, like white rappers slowly starting to gain popularity, and like Linkin Park starting to rap more and stuff. I feel like that all contributed toward rap like growing into something that was
More melodic, almost.
oh yeah, becoming more melodic and more accepted like as to the general audience. Like, because for the longest time, wasn't rap considered like bad gangster music, like something that you shouldn't be listening to? That's the trope
Yeah,
of the '90s
like
era,
like the whole parental
Yeah.
advisory bullshit.
right? And like, not obviously now it's not like that. Rap's just like everybody listens to rap. If you don't listen to rap, you're fucking boring.
No WAP is on the radio, bro. Like
Yeah, right.
yeah.
Like I think those bands contributed to that. I think they're like they sort of helped rap while they were also like taking from it and turning it into their own thing, you know, like Linkin Park doing
Yeah,
that sort of stuff.
I think when you do like genre clashing like that, I think it kind of brings it to a whole new audience, to where like you're bound to like dive into hip hop more if you
Mhm.
grew up listening to Linkin Park or like bands that did genre clashing like that. But
Mhm.
to bring that kind of full circle, like you said, how rap, just hip hop in general, is like very popular like today.
Mhm.
Do you think emo and like just everything that like our friends are making and like the style of like music that we like and listen to, do you think all of that is going to become like more popular within due
I don't
time, or do
know.
you think it's
Being
like
I think it's happening right now,
yeah,
honestly.
it could be. I
yeah,
mean, well, hyperpop's blowing up. That's something, but it doesn't. That's not like what we've been making. I feel like that's a new thing. That's like sudden.
No, that is new.
Well,
yeah,
I think the idea is like, for example, like MGK's most recent album, like
Right.
things like that. Obviously, like there's the Blink-182 and early 2000s influence, but I feel like a lot of that wouldn't happen if it wasn't for a lot of the emo rap that's been
Like
happening.
no,
yeah.
definitely.
As far as I know, like the people that are pioneering the scene were like Sad Boys and Goth Boy Clique, right?
Yeah, like
And Sesh.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Team
Yeah.
Sash. So
Suicide
like
Boys.
yeah,
And I'm not
Spooky
aware.
Black.
I'm pretty
Go
sure
ahead.
Lil Peep's massive, right? Spooky Black's
yeah,
Yeah.
gotta
Lil
get up.
Peep's huge.
He was like the one
I
that
guess
popped in my mind, bringing like the goth like thing to like the scene. Like I don't know, like bringing it to the forefront almost. Even though he wasn't the first, it was like the thing that made like all the kids in my high school like get
I mean,
onto
in
that.
my mind,
Exactly.
Lil Peep to me is like he's probably not the first, but in my mind, he's like the first guy that and like he wasn't a rock star or a rap star. He was like the first guy that was like a blend of both.
Yeah, he like took
Can't
that
think,
shit
I
and
don't
made
know
it
who else was
his.
it, because like he took like from rap culture that I mean I think in emo and or in rock and punk culture they had like tattoos as well, but a lot of Peep's tats were like they seemed like the style of like what rap artists would get. Like he had lot of
Yeah,
those, like, urban
grills
look-
and stuff.
yeah, stuff like that. He sort of blended the two cultures really well in a way that was palatable to
Mhm.
a lot of people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
One of those gateway artists for sure. Kind of similar to Linkin Park, like we were saying, of like at that point in time, bringing people of one genre to another, one culture to another. I feel like that's like a modern example of that.
Yeah, and I feel like what he did alone is like super influential on the scene as a whole now. Even with like you said with the Machine Gun Kelly album that just came out. Like I feel like if Peep didn't exist, that I don't think that album or that transition for Machine Gun Kelly would have came as naturally as it
No.
did.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, very
Yeah, he
much.
definitely pioneered. I don't know, what's the new frontier of music? Like, cause is this scene like, has it already
Say,
seen its heyday? Is it like just like, is it? I don't know. Like, is it still growing? Like, what's going on with the scene we're all meant to be a part of?
I feel like a lot of it's cyclical. Of like, I don't know. I don't know if someone else has a better answer to it, but I feel like everything's so fast. Of like, the I don't know. I'll let someone else take that because I'm not sure how to put my thoughts into words currently.
I feel like we don't get fads that last uh, nearly as long or are as potent as they were in like the 90s because of the internet. Like a fad
Mhm.
now is so short. A trend doesn't have any
Yeah.
depth to it. Like before, like emo culture was a trend, but it was a trend that at least spanned like a decade or two, like a good solid 15 years, where you can say that it influenced all sorts of different things. Like in movies like Edward Scissorhands were coming out, and bands like Green Day and Linkin Park were popping up and stuff, and like growing to their fame and making their own names.
Mhm.
Like, I don't think we have that right now.
I think it's something that's like soon to come though. Like I think that history almost always repeats itself every like decade or so, and I think it's just a matter of time till we have like a front runner for like what we're doing or like this scene as a whole or just emo in general.
Right.
And once that happens and once that's like kind of implemented into like the music world, um it'll kind of have like a whole revival. Like emo will become like as cool as it was back when like Fall Out Boy was at its peak. You know what I mean?
Right.
All it takes is like one artist to blow up and then make the whole thing mainstream. Like that's really all it is. Like a front runner, like Nick was saying.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like it would in the day of the internet, like it, you never know what the next like thing is gonna
Makes
be
sense.
really.
Yeah.
So like an emo artist could come out and like take over the whole scene, and then boom, it's already like a
Right.
trend.
Because before things like that, like that would pop up and you'd see a bunch of bands like do similar things, and that would be okay. Like they'd all be doing their own thing in a similar way. But like nowadays, if someone comes up and like pops off and they are like the face of something, if anybody does anything that's remotely like them, they just get labeled as a clone or someone that's biting them or someone that's
Really
not
true,
original.
yeah.
Like I feel like it's not as accepting now, at least with the current culture of music, to be trying to do something same as someone else, even if it's not. Like it's not exactly the same, but I just mean I feel like everyone wants you to be so distinct from other people that you have to invent your own genre to even be
Yeah.
considered a great.
Yeah, and the only way to like exile yourself from that and like from being stuck in this like box where you're compared to artists that have maybe similar attributes or like a similar style or whatever, is to have like your sound be very bare bones, like one instrument, like one vocal take, no real like effects. So I think like
Right.
that's why indie is so huge right now. Like I feel like indie rock is
There is a resurgence of India. I love
yeah.
that shit.
Like
Yeah.
I think indie rock and like all these like cool like lo-fi bands and artists are kind of like getting on that wave now to where you just hear like an acoustic guitar, some really like washed out sounding vocals, and you can say that it sounds similar to a band that you listen to that's in the same realm or genre,
Right.
but all of them sound so different because it's so simple. It's just guitar and vocals, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
whereas like if you were to make a song like an emo rap song, I guess.
Right.
Where
Everyone makes the joke that it's just like hi-hats and shit, right? Like trap drums
yeah,
and hi-hats.
yeah, if you like use trap drums and you use um like decaying reverb on your vocals, everybody's gonna be like,
Right.
"Oh, you sound like Peep. You sound like Peep." Or like,
Right.
if you do
Mhm.
the whole like, people are gonna be like, "Oh, you sound like Bones or Suicide Boys
Yeah.
Right.
or like Ghost Main or like whatever." So
Right.
I think there's, I don't know. I think it's just
I was gonna say it's not even the artists themselves that are like making it a bad thing. It's the fans. They like don't let people
yeah.
try to grow in that way.
Well,
But
if
I
you
think
think
it
about it,
should be done in taste. Like, I think you should definitely carry inspirations from people like that
Right.
and like involve it into your own sound. But also, you have to like make a conscious decision. Like, okay, I don't want to bite this person. Like, let me put my own spin on it.
Yeah, but
I
what
agree.
is biting someone? Like, are you straight up jacking their flow?
Straight up,
That's not good.
yeah, I
That's not
think
good.
like straight up jacking their flow, straight up jacking like the producers, like if it's a producer jacking like his style, like with beats, like if he does anything distinct, like taking that. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of that with like Rip Squad beats and like Blade type beats and stuff. At the end of the day, it's all music. Like if you make it and you like it, that's all that really matters. Like
Yeah.
biting or not.
Yeah, that's good. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of us that are not just making music because they like it. There's like some people that are legitimately trying to like experiment and they want to like expand and make a career out of it. And they're like, well,
Hmm.
I can't just do what I want. I gotta sort of like try to improve and I gotta try to dip into different things. And I'm looking at what everyone's listening to. Like, well, I like this thing that this artist is doing. And I like this thing that this other artist is doing. Maybe I'm gonna try to mix these together. But then you end up just being called someone that's biting both of them or a clone of one of them, like that sort of thing. I feel like there's no room for like, oh, someone just did something amazing and new, but they're the only ones
I-
allowed to even do anything close to that.
I think the key is taking your own twist on it. Like everyone takes inspiration from somewhere. I feel like there's no such thing as being completely original. Like you're all like whether
No.
it's intentional or subconsciously, you're always taking from something else, but it's doing it in a way that's your own. I remember I heard Dementia say this before. It's a good quote. He mentioned like if your music sounds like this other person, like you have to think to yourself like why would somebody listen to you over somebody else? Like you have to, and if you don't have an answer for that, then like it's not enough of you in it, I think.
Right.
it's a
Yeah.
good way to analyze it.
Well, that's a part of the journey, I think, because like, if you are an up and coming artist, I guess, what you're gonna do initially is do everything the people you love do, and then that's not gonna necessarily be well received if you don't come in it with enough of yourself, like you said. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, there's no really I mean, you can't tell when you're doing that. I don't think because when I first started doing things like board, I think it happened to Nick around the same time too. Like when we were just starting, people kept saying we sounded like Oliver Francis, and we were listening to
Yeah.
him a lot. But I wasn't purposely doing that. Like whenever I rapped, I didn't even think I sounded like him. I was just like, no, I'm just rapping. What are you talking about? This is
But that's
this is rap.
inevitable. Like people will
Right.
say whatever. Like I still
Oh,
get
I know. I'm not.
comparisons to
No,
this
I'm
day.
not saying I'm bothered, but I'm just saying like that's gonna happen to people all the time when they're coming into music first,
Exactly.
because you have all these inspirations, you have all these preconceived notions of what the music you like is and what you want your music to sound like, which is probably gonna reflect the sort of music you already enjoy. Just makes it
Yeah,
difficult
those
for you to
influences are
create
bound
something.
to shine through.
Yeah, it's less of an issue with being original, I think. Well, obviously there's people that straight up are just jacking shit, but I just think a lot of the fans are super judgmental, like especially if you're an up and coming artist that's suddenly getting attention and you sound even close to their favorite artist, they're just gonna trash you, and that whole community is sort of gonna have a bad taste in their mouth about you because you don't want someone stealing the spotlight from their favorite artist, I guess. I don't think
True.
the music community is very welcoming to
I think
new
No.
artists.
if you
Yeah.
pay homage though, I think they are. Like if you respectfully do it and like say like this person inspired me, but if he didn't inspire you, then it's like kind of weird. Then that's a weird
Sometimes it's
situation to be in.
coincidental, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Like you didn't mean to. Then what do you do?
Well, bro,
Yeah.
you can even spin it like on the opposite side of that. Like there's artists that are on the come up right now that sound eerily identical to people that I had listened to a few years back, like stylistically, lyrically, etc. And nobody even in the comments and like even like the artists themselves, like nobody's paying homage to those artists, and it's like it's kind of like been like a been there done that kind of thing. Yeah, they're like making it new and refreshing, but like nobody's even comparing them to, you know what I mean? So it's like it's crazy how many ways it can go, especially
I
for
guess it could
artists
go
that are
anywhere.
like coming into the not just this scene, but just any like music in general. So it's
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it sounding like that, but it's just I don't get it. I don't get the I don't get people's they don't give people a chance to try to grow into themselves, I guess, is what I personally think is the issue with
yeah. No, I totally
I'm
agree with
fully
that.
aware that there's people that are definitely they're like, oh, this artist got canceled or this artist died out and nobody's filling this market right now. I'm just gonna do everything they used to do. And I'm probably not even gonna try to improve on it or make it my own because there's nothing anyone can really say about it. And like what's happening in terms of what you were saying, like maybe that artist just stopped making music and there's a void would complain about.
I think a loophole, like sounding like artists, but just like a loophole into sort of developing your own sound. And for me, at least, especially recently, like I feel like I've had like a bit of a internal revival. But it's been just me like listening to older music that I haven't listened to in a while, or just like stuff that's older in general. Um, and then picking up my guitar and just kind of like fucking around with it, even if I like don't sound good, like with what I'm playing doesn't sound good, like I'm fucking around with it and like figuring out more about sound and how to make this sound like this and how to do it in a way where I'm still learning, because I think as long as you're still learning stuff, you're bound to grow and develop. And I think at some point
Definitely.
when you're an artist, you don't even like realize it, but at some point when you're making the same kind of stuff, you have this cutoff where you feel like you don't necessarily have to learn anything anymore because things are working out and things are just going well and you're enjoying what you're making. But then you get to this point where everything just seems so diluted and like not
It
not
doesn't
what
really
it once
pop anymore.
was.
It's not
It's
vibrant or
Yeah.
once
Like
it
Yeah.
becomes autopilot, I feel like that's when you stop thinking about it. I can totally relate to that.
Me
yeah.
too.
And I think a lot of it has to do with like what we take in from day to day. Like I noticed a lot of it comes from me just being on social media all the time and seeing people go, "Oh, like I miss when you made stuff like this and I miss
Ugh.
this and this." And
yeah.
then I get so like conscious and like heavy on that when I'm in my creative zone and I'm feeling really good about it, that'll kind of hover over me and I go, "Oh, well maybe I should like change this. Maybe I should take this out. Maybe I should do this in my voice." And
Kills the process.
yeah, exactly. So what I did recently is I got that B&B out. It's a couple hours
Treehouse.
away from here. Yeah, stayed in a
Yeah.
treehouse for 2 days, and
Had to be sick.
yeah, it was tight. I brought my guitar, just kind of like try to fuck around and write some new stuff, and I like I told myself that I wasn't gonna listen to anybody else's music and just kind of try to develop something new and like refreshing. I ended up listening to three artists this past week. I've only really listened to like three bands or artists like heavily, um and they're all kind of like acoustic, like singer songwriter, like emo at the core, I guess. But it was a band called Crywank. I've been
Heard
listening
of
to
Crazy.
them.
them.
I've heard of them.
Kimya Dawson, who she's in a band called the Moldy Peaches, and then this band called Worst Party Ever.
Ooh.
Okay.
They're really good. But I just listened to them like the entire week, and then went into that treehouse and just like try to write. Like just coming out of that, like it felt good to just
Did it help like when you listen to them? Like, did you
yeah.
like going into it? Does it like when you were coming up with whatever you were coming up with? Like were you thinking like, oh, am I sounding like them? Does it sound like them, or is this something I'm doing on my
I
own?
mean,
Like, does it affect you at all in that way?
it's something that I was conscious of, more so in reflection and not really in the midst of the creative process. But I think as an artist, you have this critical way of viewing music. Once you start making so much music, you kind of view everything critically. So instead of like listening to music and enjoying it and just appreciating it in its simplicity, you
Mhm.
break everything down and you go, oh, like it's cool how they did this with
Yeah.
this, or like they added reverb here and then a cutoff right
Mhm.
here, or whatever. So listening to a lot of these artists, there's not like a lot going on. It's just one vocal take, maybe like really distant vocals that are tucked in the back of the mix, and then just guitar, and that's it. That's the whole
Right.
song.
Then you're not overanalyzing. You're just listening
Oh,
Yeah.
to
so
the
I
art.
get what you're saying. Like I get what you're saying. Like before, you said with the simplicity of something like that, you can't really. There's no like.
Yeah,
It's gonna
you
sound
can't really.
original.
Yeah, I mean, you can break it down, you can like critique it, but
Yeah.
there's not enough going on to where your mind is just like constantly hyper focusing on every little detail of it. Instead, you're just like more so taking in the lyrics, you're more so taking in the melody, the sound, like you feel it more so than you would like a crazy intense song with like the most insane intense mix with like 50
Right.
million automation clips and like all this crazy
Right.
shit going on. So, um, just listening to music like that and then trying to not emulate that kind of sound or style, but try to like bare bones it and work on a project impulsively where I'm just playing guitar and singing, like really did a lot for me. Like I had like a weird mental breakthrough yesterday.
So I'm sure the fact that you like changed your environment helped.
That too. Yeah.
Because like
Yeah, dude.
I've had so much advice that like if you're trying to feel creative and do something new, like just being in the same space that you've had so many other boring, dull experiences in isn't gonna uh, contribute to facilitating that.
Yeah, and I think
Exactly.
what happened with me is like going out there was a lot of fun, but there were like some periods where I would get a little overwhelmed or uncomfortable, and not being around things that I'm familiar with kind of pushed me to like figure out not loopholes to like get through it, but just ways to work around it and work through it. Um, and overall, that not only helps you mentally, physically, emotionally, but it helps you with your creative process as well as an artist. So I think that trip just like really opened my eyes to a lot of things. And also on top of that, there's this I wanted to mention this and I thought about it the other day, but there was this couple that was staying down the road at a different B&B. So anytime I would leave mine to like go down to my car or like grab something or like go get food, I would have to pass their B&B. And it's similar styles, like a treehouse like cabin kind of thing. Um, it's this couple in their 50s, and when I tell you these people were NPCs, Keem, these
Oh
people,
God.
Yeah.
these people were the strangest, most intriguing
Every time you
people.
walked by, were they like, the weather's nice today, huh?
Well, no,
I
so
hear
okay,
their items at the store up ahead.
bro. No, so I'm walking up, like I had just got there, I parked, and I'm walking up this little like ramp hill kind of thing up to like where the stairs are. And as I'm walking by, I see this couple and they're standing like on the balcony because it's like a little elevated. It's so the hill that I was going up is right next to a flat area where there's like a bunch of trees, and those trees are what's holding up their treehouse. So
Mhm.
from the ramp to like their like where their feet are is probably like maybe a height difference of like 2 or 3 feet. So they're standing like pretty close to like where I'm at. So I'm
Mhm.
walking by, and the husband goes, "Hey man," and I go, "Hi." And he's like, "You want a
Greetings,
beer?"
traveler.
Bro, I've never even met this guy in my life, and he's like, "You want a beer?" I was like, "Oh,
Yeah.
sure."
Damn.
So hands me a beer and just starts talking and is like, "Oh yeah, like, are you staying up at that treehouse? Blah blah blah." And I was like, "Yeah." And they really wanted to check it out because they saw the listing for it on Airbnb. So um, I walked up and I dropped my stuff off, and I told them, "Yeah, like it's cool if you like come up, like you can check it out, like I don't mind." So they came up and everything was like pretty normal. We're just like having like some small talk.
He was
Um,
like, hey, do you want to fuck my wife?
No, no, bro, it's so funny that you mentioned that though, because in my
What?
head I was like, bro, these people are weird NPCs and they're probably swingers. Like I need to take care of them.
Oh my
So,
god.
um, no, so like pretty normal, like characters. Like it felt
Right.
like if you had like a cool aunt and uncle, it felt like that. And I was like,
Yeah.
okay, cool, these people are pretty interesting. Well, a couple hours go by and I go to this pizza place keep in mind, like, I'm in a really rural area. There's not a lot going on. There's like one pizza place, a Mexican restaurant, a couple coffee shops, and that's it, and some gas stations. But I go to this pizza place and I run into them again, and this is probably like 6-7 miles from where we're staying. So I was like, oh, like,
Right.
like funny seeing you guys here. So they invite me to sit with them and eat with them. Keep in mind, I'm to anybody listening to this who's gonna be like, that's not safe, COVID, blah blah blah. I'm vaccinated. I stayed clear. I kept my distance. So yeah. Anyway, um, I'm sitting with them, and I don't know if it was because this dude had been drinking or what, but he kept repeating himself like word for word, and it was so NPC like, bro.
Ran
Like
out
I
of
felt like,
dialogue. Had to repeat it.
yeah, yeah, I felt like I
That's
kept
wild.
going back to the same NPC and clicking X, and just like hearing him say the same thing. But also like to add to that NPC type shit, like he is ex-military or maybe
Oh,
ex-navy or something like that.
yeah.
So he's telling me all of these like strange war stories, but he's telling them word for word over and over and over
Oh
again.
man.
Um yeah, very very interesting people. I saw them a couple times. I actually ended up leaving the B&B early because I had a panic attack at one point, and then in the midst of that panic attack, I had convinced myself that the husband was a serial killer and that I was probably gonna
Oh
die
my
if I
God.
stayed one more night.
Oh my god.
And
Oh
that was
no.
no, that was solely just because I just got done like fucking around on my guitar. I think I like went up to a different little like section of the treehouse to grab my backpack, and I heard somebody yelling my name, and I was like, "What the fuck?" And it was him, and he was like coming up the steps, and he's like, "Hey, we're about to go. They're gonna go somewhere," and he was like, "You want to tag along?" And I was like, "Oh no, I'm good." He's like, "Oh, you sure?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm
Oh
gonna try to
no.
record." He's like, "Oh, come on." He's really trying to convince me, and I was like, "No,
Too
I'm all
close for
right."
comfort.
Just a
Yeah, and
lonely
he was
old
like, "All
man,
right,
Nick.
well, I think he was like, I don't think he meant harm. I think he was just day drinking and was like way too comfortable with his surroundings. So
You know?
he's like, oh yeah, like I'm gonna go hang out with this kid. Um, but yeah, just strange. It was a really strange situation. Um, I'm glad I ended up coming home early though. Because there was a thunderstorm that night and it rained really bad. So I didn't have to drive through all that. And I didn't die, so that's good. But
Yeah.
That's always a plus.
Nice
yeah,
to hear.
You gotta trust that inner voice sometimes.
yeah.
Honestly. I
But,
mean, being alone in the woods with that, like you have a thought, a gut thought, you gotta go with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're
Just
right.
play it
They're like
safe.
right at the bottom of the hill that I'm on. So I'm
Yeah.
like, y'all are close. Like, yeah, there's locks on these doors, but like if you know how to climb shit, you can hop in easy.
Nobody's a serial killer until somebody's a serial killer, bro. Like nobody knows
Exactly.
until like so.
Everyone's
Right.
always like, "Oh, him? I never expected."
Exactly.
Yeah.
That could be another
That's
added
crazy.
layer to songs you wrote. Just a little bit of tension, knowing that you might be killed at any moment.
Could
I
have been killed
actually
at any
no,
point.
I wrote a line where like I talk about like why does my head always like do this? Like why do I always think that like I'm gonna either like be in harm's way or like get killed? Because when we're eating pizza, and I was stone cold sober during this, when we're eating pizza, there's this basketball hoop that's probably shit like 40 feet away from where I'm sitting, and there's a bunch of kids playing basketball behind the pizza place because there's like outdoor seating, a bunch of like picnic tables and shit. And the ball came rolling over to like towards where I was at.
It glitched.
Well, I didn't realize that the ball came over there up until like I looked up because I was looking at my phone at the time. Well, I
Mm.
put my phone down and it's like sitting next to me, and this kid comes around. So I'm facing to my right. My phone's to my left on the corner of the table, and the kid's coming around like in front of me but behind me to grab the basketball. I don't know why,
I was gonna
but
grab your phone.
yeah, no. So he like dips down to grab the basketball and then like gets up, but I can barely see it out of like the corner of my eye. So I thought this kid was about to snatch my phone or like gut me or something. So I like twitch and I like instantly put my hand on my phone, and he kind of like gave me this look like, what the fuck are you doing?
Right.
But yeah, I had
Um,
like a handful of incidences like that like the whole time.
We're in
I
a
was
strange
there.
area. It makes sense that you're a little alert. That's a good thing, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's
I said
that you're alert and
incidences.
you're like whatever.
I meant incidences. Incidences. Mm. Like your roots. Mm.
I know exactly, dude. I know exactly what you mean. I do that sometimes. Like, not every time I record, but like if I have a song, I'll go back and listen to older songs, and like it will sometimes sound the same, but like as of recently, I've just been trying to make like totally different stuff. Like I just want to make what I want, like
Yeah.
type stuff.
Wish I could do it.
I look at
You
it the same
can.
way. It might
Looks
be
good.
I might do it to a fault, but I feel like sometimes I'll make things that are just like very left field compared to the rest. And like it might make it hard to market or whatever, but I just whatever I'm feeling in the moment, I'll just like let it flow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you never know like when a change you make is gonna be like the best change you made. Like
Yeah.
you
I don't know
can't
why I
get
care
too
so much.
stuck.
Because like I care about the consistency like that much, but then I don't even try to promote my songs. I'll like make a post on Twitter and Instagram, and if no one listens to it, I'm like, well, I did all I can.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think what's been beneficial for me, as far as just like getting back into the groove of like, what am I gonna create today, or like just kind of like refreshing my noggin is I'll I'll kind of like be listening to music and I'm like, ooh, like I wish I could make a song like this, and then
Mhm.
something in my head goes, well, yeah, like why don't you just do it right now? So I'll go
Yeah.
on YouTube and I'll just sift through type beats. As soon
Mhm.
as I find one that I'm like fucking with and I'm like I got a melody in my head, I'll download that and just make a throwaway track. And if I like it enough, I'll put it on. I have an account on SoundCloud called Gardens Hidden Gems. I'll just throw it on
Oh yeah,
there,
yeah.
just like as like a little like outlet piece almost. And
Yeah,
Keeps your
that
brain moving. That's smart.
yeah, that usually like kickstarts me into like actually working on like stuff for my main account and like getting back
Okay.
into the flow of like working on like either a project or like something that I already have in the works, and it's just refreshing.
That's a good way to do it. I feel like I have a problem sometimes since I usually produce all of my songs. Is like I'll think, oh, I want to try a song like this or a vocal thing like this. I
Mhm.
then have to go through making the beat and everything leading up to that point, and by then I might be like out of steam. I feel like just like freestyling on a tight beat on YouTube is probably a good way to like get some ideas. Just like
To
jot it
quickly jump it out. I
Yeah.
don't know. Yeah, I could see why you would run out of steam because like if I'm just sitting working on a song and I'm like recording for like an hour and a half, I'm already getting burnt out. Like I can't really
Yeah.
keep drinking water. My vocal cords are getting fried, and there's like
yeah.
not much you can do in terms of that. I can't imagine how you sit through hours of producing and then you would try to do that. That just sounds insane.
Right. Sometimes I try to take a break. I'll like make the beat and then put
Right.
it into a folder and then come back to it when it's not like top of my mind.
That's smart. Yeah,
That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's like
like
two separate processes.
you
Because I
don't
feel like once you're out of
overanalyze.
the flow state, you're like it's hard to get back into it.
mhm.
Enough.
Yeah,
I know I hear a song too much. I just think it's bad automatically. Like
Right.
if I'm working on it for like a month, I'm like, why am
so
I even
true.
still trying with this? It sounds like garbage. I've heard it every day for like a month. It's terrible.
Yeah, I'll work on a song for like 2 days and then I'll end up like hating it and just like trash it. But then the next song after I pull up a FL project after I work for 2 days on a song that I don't like, and then it comes out fire in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
Yeah, it's always it's one or the other. I think maybe it's something you guys have a problem with as well. It's just if it doesn't instantly happen for me, if there's no instant gratification for the progress of the song, and it doesn't like I'm not hitting things the way I want to immediately, it it slowly saps away my strength and creative energy for continuing with it. So
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
make
I'm trying
something
to
sound
learn how
good.
to like accept that and like stop. I've definitely had songs in the past where I like spent a whole month trying to make it perfect, and in hindsight, I probably should have just like scrapped the idea and tried something new.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what I need to get better at, just like knowing when to scrap something right away instead of
Well,
just
you
like
don't
trying to
necessarily
make it
have to
better.
scrap it because I get too scared to just completely throw something away. What I do is I just
True.
like I tell myself I'm gonna come back to it, and sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I just like put it in the back end, the back burner.
Just take a break.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think one of the healthiest things to do to get around that is just save it and go, like I'll come back to it. And then by the
Yeah.
time you have like a couple other tracks in the works, you'll come up with an idea and you'll go, like, nah, this doesn't sound good on that. But then you'll open up that old project and you're like, yo, this fits perfect. And I think
Yeah.
a lot of
Right.
ideas that I've had recently, like within the last year or so, for just verses or like melodies or anything like that, have just been like the same process of just like coming back to it later on after working on a couple other things.
It definitely it helps to work on multiple things at once, because then you don't feel like you're just stuck doing the same thing, and it doesn't get dull and boring if you're like, I'm gonna work on this until I lose the itch, and then I'll just switch to something else if I still have the energy to create. I just don't want to keep working on this, and it helps a lot.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think that's what's so good about working on a project with no like concept in mind or like no real structure. It's just like you go into it making a bunch of different songs, and then you come out of it and you can just kind of piece everything together in a track list and be like, okay, yeah, this works. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can make this
Mhm.
cohesive. I just gotta put
Yeah.
some. Yeah.
I feel like even if you don't intentionally make it cohesive, it becomes cohesive just because you're writing it all in a certain period of time or having some like subconscious like thought or emotion or something that like ties it all together.
Yeah,
True.
and I think that's something that I've been trying to figure out how to get back to, because like a lot of my early stuff came about like that. Like Lacuna, I just went into it trying to make a fuck ton of songs on beats that I thought were cool, and
Mhm.
that it's one of my strongest projects that I've put out yet. So, um, yeah, I think I'm trying to like figure out how to find my way back into that same work ethic and not have like a concept or structure in mind.
I think that goes back to when we were talking about overanalyzing things. Is I think now when you know the genre or know the style or know your process so well, you try to like I don't know. I think sometimes the magic happens when you're trying new things or like it just falls into place versus stressing about all the details, which I definitely fall guilty of.
Yeah,
Right.
and I think that's kind of like the duality of being an artist is like, yeah, like you're like going through shit internally to where like you can analyze it and put it into words and like make a song out of it and like create something cool. But at the same time, you're still doing that same exact thing during your creative process, and it kind of like stunts how far you can really take it.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Crazy.
Yeah. You just have to get out of your like comfort zone and like really try new things, like go to new places and like even like recording different. Like I've been recording like around people recently. It's been way easier. I don't know.
It's
I always thought it
crazy.
would be way harder, but it's like honestly easier if you have like the producer in house and like you can change whatever you want.
I mean, that
Yeah.
makes sense. I
Yeah.
remember I tried recording a song with Nick once, and I was having so much trouble. I mean, a couple of them turned out okay, but
No, I get that. Like the first time I ever recorded with people, it was difficult. But like as you get used to it and you're comfortable in the room and stuff, like it makes it way
right.
easier slash like funner.
I bet you can probably feel the energy in the room more when people are bouncing off each other and like you don't have to worry about recording and we're dealing
Gotcha.
with a computer.
Exactly. Very true.
I think the way I've gone about like making songs is very like steps 1, 2, 3. Like it's very procedural, and it makes it really dull. I think you guys were like you were saying earlier, like mixing things up, doing things differently. Like so, like if I was working on a project, I would literally try to do the songs in order of the track list and how I was trying to make them. I'd try to be like, I want the first song to sound like this and the second song to sound like this. I need them to transition perfectly. But like Nick was saying, he's popping out songs left and right, and then you just match it. Like they end up, he finds a way to fit them together. I think that's the better way to do that sort of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it is too.
I think chaos is good in music. A little bit of healthy, like mess thrown into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
it's the wave.
And I think coming out of those situations too, like full circling like back to when I was like, oh yeah, like got manic at the treehouse, left. I thought I was gonna die. Um, like I needed to go through that in order to really heighten the experience and like come out of it being like, yeah, wow, like I learned a lot about
Mhm.
like me being out in unfamiliar territory and just more about myself and how I kind of played things out, and it helped the creative process. And like coming home for like going to the cabin, like yeah, I like got some work done. Coming back from the cabin, I got so much done.
You have that experience now, and then you're in a comfortable, safe environment where you can process it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think being uncomfortable is super important, whether it's for like personal growth or musical growth or whatever. Like
Mhm.
doing something new that you're unfamiliar with, whether it's good or bad, can still like it makes you grow, learn more, like you said.
I was thinking just the other day, or last night, really, that like people get embarrassed over a lot of things that aren't even bad. Like it's more of a personal ego thing. Like, oh, I made a mistake. I'm so embarrassed about this, but just don't. You really shouldn't be getting embarrassed unless you've done something incredibly wrong. I think, and that like that fear of the embarrassment is what holds a lot of people back from reaching their full potential.
Yeah,
Exactly.
There's nothing to lose, like from
Y-
being embarrassed, like simple embarrassment, like stupid, based off like stupid stuff. As long as it's nothing like crazy, like there's really nothing to lose. Like I, that people are definitely like too like hypersensitive to being embarrassed. Like they act like they can never be embarrassed their whole life.
It's
Or like
okay to post cringe sometimes.
Right.
it's
Well,
okay to post cringe.
that's like that fear of embarrassment is what makes it hard for like me to record around other people because like the way
Mhm.
that I've conditioned myself to go about making my music is I go in listening to a beat raw and I'm like, oh well, now I have to figure out how I would sing on this beat and it sounds like ass until I figure it out. And I'm like,
Yeah,
well, if I did that in front of someone else, they're gonna laugh at me or I'm gonna feel embarrassed because I'm making an ass out of myself. Like I just sat here fucking frying my voice and cracking notes, not even being able to make a melody that sounds cohesive for like an hour and a half until it finally sounds decent. That's not
Right.
an experience you would want, but I'm
I'm
sure
the
it's
same way. Yeah.
you'd be able to get over that and you'd like learn how to comfortably experiment.
That fear of embarrassment is what kept me from like doing vocals for like my entire life until like a couple of years ago. So it's like, oh, I'm not good enough, or oh, it'll sound funny and all this stuff
Right.
until I finally
Because
did
you
it.
don't know what
You
you're
jump
doing.
that hurdle.
You jump in blind and you're like, I've heard great artists and great vocalists make songs before, so I know what it should sound like, but I don't know how to do that.
There's only one way to learn though. You just gotta keep
Yeah.
making, keep making
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, once you realize that the standards that are set are solely set by you and you can remove those standards at any given moment, that's when you like unlock the power to do whatever with not just with music but with like anything.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what gives you
Yeah.
control over yourself and the rest of your life, essentially. Because I'm sure you
Yeah.
guys have had it too, where like a smaller artist will reach out to you. They're like, "Hey, I'm a big fan. I'm just getting into music. I want to know what to do." And it's just like, for me personally, I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like I started off, I had no idea what I was doing. I was just making noises into the mic, essentially, hoping it would sound good, and doing that over and over until it did.
Just gonna
But
dive head first.
Yeah.
yeah,
There is like
yeah,
little like standard advice you can give them. Like don't ask for stuff. Like don't like be
right.
annoying in people's DMs. But like there's nothing you can really tell someone when it comes to like music wise. Like it's all like off the
There's no
individual.
advice. Yeah,
Exactly.
I never know what to say to them because it's like
You can give them
I
like
don't.
the rules, like the ground
Yeah.
rules, like how to move throughout the scene, I guess. But you
Yeah.
can't really tell them like how to make it, or you can
You
tell them
can't be
like
like,
the
this is the
equipment.
steps you have to take to sound good. Like, there's no steps to take.
Yeah,
Really.
there's no real equipment you need, but like you
Yeah.
can tell them like what to get, I guess, for their budget. But like it's not gonna make a difference really.
Right.
It's
And
really all
sucks-
about personal growth.
Yeah, exactly. And it sucks that like the best advice is just be yourself, but that sounds
It
so
sounds so
corny in
fake.
retrospect.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
yeah,
very-
yeah.
It sounds like stop asking, fuck off. That's what it sounds like.
Yeah.
That being said, though, I feel like that, like, not to get super deep, but I feel like your art gets better the more that you learn yourself and like work on learning yourself. Like I feel like that's such a big part of it, of like just having confidence in yourself and knowing who you are and what you want to say and accomplish is big. I think that from my musical journey, like especially when I started singing and like doing like lyrics, I've learned a lot like introspectively too.
No, for
Yeah.
sure.
was gonna say there's a lot of stuff I never thought about until I started singing about things. Like if you like me and Nick used to do, if you're just perusing for a beat that speaks to you, like something you really vibe with, and then you're trying to sing over it, but you don't have anything planned out, you just start saying things, and eventually you start saying some really real things that you haven't ever thought
Exactly.
than that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, damn, I really feel that way. It like forces you to take your subconscious and bring it out.
Yeah. Keem and I used to freestyle like all the time. And that shit, I think that's kind of like what set the groundwork for us being where we are now and just kind of like being stronger writers and like really knowing how to convey how we feel through.
I think I don't write good at all. I don't
think you're
like
great.
I don't think about my I don't think about the cohesiveness of my lyrics. I just sort of like I think of a broad message and I'm like, does it at least make sense? And I'm like, okay, but then like I don't know. I just speaking about being embarrassed by things. I'm embarrassed by so many of my old songs and the lyrics that I've written and things that I've done. Like
I think we all are though.
I'm like, I definitely should not have done that. I was just doing that because like we were just rapping and I was like, oh, that's what some rap sounds like. It's fine. I said that and I'm like,
Yeah.
but now
Yeah.
I'm legitimately like embarrassed by it and I think I'm like, oh, I can't wait until I get canceled for this because I have no defense at all.
Well, that goes back to personal growth of like as you learn more about yourself and learn more about your music, like you listen to your old songs like, oh, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done this, and
Yeah.
learn and progress.
Just part of being human.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Damn.
I guess people typically think of creative people as like not everyone can be creative, but I think being creative is one of the most efficient ways to confront yourself and improve yourself.
Everyone
Agreed.
really can be creative. They're just creative in their own ways. Even if they have like a normal job, like they're creative at that job. Like they're
Right.
creative when they pick out the car they want. They want this car because like I don't
Right.
know. They are
Oh, yeah,
creative.
I guess that's another thing. That's
Totally.
a good point, Hammy. I think you're saying like the people have a very strict idea of what being creative means, and it's not just what we do. It's not just being an artist or creating art or being a musician and doing that sort of thing. And
It's just living your life and making the choices you want to make.
Yeah.
damn, Hammy, I didn't know you were a philosopher.
Yeah. I think everybody has a different process too, but at the root of it, it all ties back to just deconstructing and reconstructing, you know?
hmm
Like,
That makes sense. I was just gonna say what you did going to the treehouse seems like a sort of a deconstructing step because you're pulling yourself out of a comfortable place and you're throwing yourself into the chaos and just like letting it
Mhm.
wear you down until
yeah.
you see yourself, you know?
Yeah, and going into that, like I didn't know what to expect. I knew like, yeah, I'm gonna really like make myself sit down and like work and like do this and like strengthen my pen game and my work ethic and all that. But I didn't know what the real outcome was gonna be until I went and I came out of it and I'm home now and it I don't know, it's refreshing. And I think it's one of those things like I said, like you deconstruct and reconstruct. And I think that's
Mhm.
super important to not only like strengthen your creative process, but to kind of strengthen who you are and your character outside of the realm of being an artist.
I can agree with that entirely.
Hmm.
I think it's important too. Similarly, I've been like trying to spend more time focusing on creating in like other ways than just music too, of
Mhm.
like different mediums, whether it's like even just like watching more movies and absorbing like stories and contents or things, or like being with other like meeting new people and like learning yourself through that, or like focusing on like fashion or art or something, just other ways of
Yeah. It's good to
like
fill your head up with new stuff, like new ideas, new things, new architecture, new designs, new just anything.
exactly. I feel like I've heard the phrase of like art is like 50% of the creative process is experiencing,
Life.
and then the other 50% is taking those experiences and turning them into art. Because you can't create. I feel like I felt that through quarantine, and I'm sure you guys did too. After a while, it's like
Oh, yeah.
I'm not doing anything. Like, what do I have to
so
write about?
I can't make anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you were just saying with fashion, I think that really impacts your mental health a lot, like your psychology, like whether or not you feel like you're being fresh, like you're taking care of yourself, like you're dressing well, you're looking good, like that has a big
Yeah.
impact on whether or not you have the ability to even create. Because like whenever I'm feeling like shit, if I was to try to write a song, like I would just so many other things would be distracting me. I think insecurity is one of the biggest things that hinders creativity.
Yeah.
Even if that has nothing to do with directly creating the art, like if you're just not feeling confident enough in yourself, it's hard to go about creating.
Yeah, I really feel that. Yeah, being insecure is like the number one thing that holds me back from anything. But it's always a battle. Like you just gotta fight that insecurity with like whatever you can, and just tell yourself like whatever you're overthinking really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly.
I was gonna say for me, like part of like something that can help alleviate that insecurity sometimes for me is like before I record, maybe I burn a candle so that I clean up a little bit. I burn a candle, make sure everything looks good in the room. I might go take a shower really quickly and put clothes on and like just try to make myself look and feel better
Just
and
like
make the
weird
environment a
like
little cleaner.
ritual stuff.
Yeah, it sort of
I
helps.
do that too.
Exactly. Gets you in the mindset, really. It's like, all right, there's nothing else that can distract me now. Like, look good, feel good. Your room is clean. There's nothing like clean slate to do everything.
And then also not forcing anything. Like if no song ideas come or like you can't write something like off the bat, you kind of just gotta like come back another time almost. But
Yeah.
then again, like I have made like some good songs when I've just pushed through that and like sat at my desk for a few hours and like actually like made it work. But
it's not that you
I
can't,
don't
but I think
know.
the mental fatigue from doing that is insane comparatively to like, because we've all had those songs where you push it out and it's like you just took a breath. It's like it's no energy sapped from you at all. It just felt great the whole time. And those other ones that are just super draining.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like we cut through a lot of stuff.
I agree.
No, we
What's Wegmans?
We didn't talk about that's okay. We can't end the podcast without talking about the intricacies of the Wegmans franchise.
Yeah, should we talk about
Wegmans got
Wegmans
the
and then
dopest.
should we do the promo after that and then close it out?
Perfect end note. Maybe we can get a sponsorship for next time.
Yeah, cool.
True.
Cool.
Grocery stores in general, man. I don't know. I just like perusing, walking down
Dude,
aisles.
Especially Wegmans though, like they got not only do they have groceries, but they have like the buffet. They got like the pre-packaged
True.
food that's like usually
They have the
smack-
bakery. They have the deli, the meat deli.
Yeah, they
Is
got
it like a
like-
Trader Joe's or like a Market District Giant Eagle kind of thing?
It's like fuck, I'm trying to think of what to compare Wegmans
The
to.
Kroger?
Safeway?
Yeah, it's like
Maybe like a Kroger.
it's like a Kroger. It's kind of like a Kroger. It's like if Kroger and Whole Foods had a baby.
Okay.
Mm.
So a little bit
Wegmans
bougie.
is like a little lesser. It's like slightly more low class than Whole Foods.
See, that's
Yeah.
good. Whole Foods tries too hard, I think.
Too hard,
Oh
yeah.
yeah. No, definitely.
Wegmans is still good.
Yeah, Wegmans
Trader
almost has
Joe's is
like
my favorite.
you've been to
Yeah,
a
they're the
Tops?
best.
What?
Tops is good.
You've been to a
Top-
Tops?
No.
Tops
Damn.
feels
I've
like it's in the
not.
same category as Walmart to me.
Really?
Tops.
No, not Walmart. Target. Tops and Target. Oh,
Target?
maybe I'm
Okay.
tripping.
On my back, I
Ah,
got
I
a
can see that.
Target.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's stuck in your head. Let's go.
It is, bro.
That
Yeah.
speaking about songs coming out super fluid or taking a while, that one I like made the beat and then did all the vocals in like 10 minutes. Cause like, all right, I got this
Really?
idea right now.
I feel like that's how you know the song's really good.
Do you like
No, for
automate
sure.
those vocals? Like in the beginning, like the humming?
Yeah,
How
that
do you do
was a so in the background of the chorus, a lot of times I'll just do like ooh kind of vocals. And I
Yeah.
thought, wait, these sound cool. So I brought them up front for the intro and then like chopped them up a little bit.
It sounded like you were almost like playing them as notes. It sounded so sick.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro, I'm
Gotta listen to
excited.
that. I'm a fake fan. I'm sorry, Brody.
Oof.
I see how it is.
I mean,
Kidding.
shit, you got like a week, Keem.
Oh, it's not out yet. God damn it.
Nah. Well, the
It's that one
project
song?
comes out on the 27th, right?
I thought you said, oh, is that a different one that's dropping tonight?
Yeah, tonight that song comes
Single.
out. It's the last single, and then next Friday, for the viewers, August 27th,
Okay.
the album's dropping. Very excited for it.
It's gonna be sick. Yeah, this podcast will come out on I'm thinking the 23rd.
Perfect
So,
timing.
Yeah, 23rd or 25th. So it'll be before the project.
That's fire.
Fuck
Yeah, I'm excited. I like haven't aside from these singles, I hadn't dropped a song for like 6-7 months. I felt like I was starting to reach like burnout post
Right.
like quarantine and everything, and like
Mhm.
also having like identity crisis of like, what do I want to do? What should happen?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I had to really take some time and like be a little introspective and figure out myself.
It's the way to
Yeah.
be.
It's better to take some time off than just keep going and pushing out like stuff that you don't really care about looking back and like on your discography.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And I feel like doing that, I like figured out more about me and my sound, and am very proud of how everything happened. So
Good.
I'm excited for it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm stoked to listen to the project.
Thank you.
This could be fire.
It's gonna be cool. What's everybody working on? Y'all got some stuff coming out?
I've been working on stuff for all of quarantine. It's nothing's happening.
I'm just
Feel
waiting
that.
Singles though.
for a few verses back, but then after that, I think I'm gonna plan the next single, and that's about it.
Hell yeah.
That's exciting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool.
I'm too scared to do a project. I only do singles now. The last time I did a project, it did terribly.
That's how projects usually are, but like I just like the idea of putting out like a project.
Me too. I get sucked into that. I'll like write a couple songs, be like, wait, these sound cool in context. And then like I can't help but like fill the bigger picture out in my head and then make an album out of it.
Yeah, I think it's like you mentioned earlier, just packaging everything together, like figuring out the cover art, figuring out like all the ins and outs.
Right.
If you're gonna do music videos, like
Yeah.
that shit's so much fun, and I think that's like one of my favorite parts of being an artist.
Yeah.
I agree.
Shit's cool.
Just like the final part, like after all the songs are done, like the real work is done. It's just like that's like the most fun part. Just like customizing everything.
Yeah.
Makes sense. It seems. I think. I don't know. It's part of the identity crisis I'm having as an artist. Like, I don't feel like I've earned making a project because the ones I've done so far have not been to my liking, or they've just flopped. And
Yeah, but flopping doesn't
there's
really
no
matter
work.
because the more you put out and the bigger you get over time, like people will look back on that and then they won't even look like they
Right.
flopped or anything. They're just there. Like
Right.
Yeah. And
Like
I don't
some,
think
like-
you need to earn it. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was basically done, but that's really true. You don't need to earn anything. You're just making
Yeah.
music because like we want to. Like just do
No, I know.
whatever
I mean,
feels right in your heart.
I get what you're saying. I don't need. There's no like. I don't need to earn it, but like the reasoning in my mind is that like I don't think I've personally gotten to a point where I've established who I am as an artist or to myself enough to where
I
like
hear it.
I've made a project that speaks
I get that.
that it's me. I don't think I've ever been able to put something together thus far that it's like this is definitively what Flowers is gonna sound like and who I am like as
I
an
haven't
artist.
done that either yet. So like I'm on the same page.
But I get, yeah, that makes sense that I don't have to do that. Like, obviously, people are going to end up in the future, if I continue making music, they're going to come back and listen to my original stuff and be like, oh, some of this is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that shit'll come in time, and I think like what you're doing now is working, and I think it's great. So
Thank you, man.
yeah, of course, man.
I need to go in a
project you-
treehouse.
Do it, bro. We can go together. Dude, we can finish our fucking tape.
Oh, true. Yeah, we have been working on that for like 3 years.
Oh yeah, speaking of Treehouse, I'm working on an acoustic EP called Things Could Be Worse. I don't know how many songs it's
Ooh.
gonna be, but that comes out on
I'm sure it's
the
going to be fire.
I like the
19th.
title a lot so far.
Thank you. I came up with it yesterday.
That's so
Um,
good.
Ooh, look at you.
yeah, thank you. That comes out on the 20th of September. So.
Do you know what you're looking at for cover art yet?
Yeah, I think it's in the chat. I sent it last time we had talked, but I don't think it was
did we?
during the
Oh, so sick.
podcast.
Yeah, you sent it.
Yeah, thank you.
It's the one I'm looking at right now.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
like
I see. I see.
yeah.
It's fire.
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you. It's an artist that I found on Instagram. They're from Russia. Very
That's
cool.
good, man.
Pretty
Where did you
good.
post it?
It should
Oh,
be
I
in
see it now.
general, yeah.
Oh, that is so sick. I love
Yeah,
that.
thank you. Thank you.
You always gotta have the complimentary fit pick to the album cover. So that's
Oh yeah.
You know it.
Oh,
You
speaking of
know it.
before we close out, speaking of fit pics, I took another floating photo.
A word?
Brody's the float king.
Yeah.
So I gotta share this with him really quick in the chat.
I want to see this. I saw you had to make a public announcement the other day. I feel bad. I feel like sometimes like you'll post the floating pic and there's like an army after you being like Brody did this first.
Brody's
Brody
thing. No, but
like, it's not
I
that deep. Like you don't need to like go after people.
I
about
love
it.
that shit because I'm like, yes, it is Brody's thing. Why don't you go show him some love right now?
It's
People are
so
like,
funny.
oh, sick. Like I quoted that one.
Yeah.
I don't even think that one was one of the ones that you showed me the method for. I think you photoshopped that one because you were high up.
Like exactly.
The
But
method.
I really like this fit, but I kind of want to retake it because it doesn't look as good as the other one that I took, or the other one that I already posted. But I took this one yesterday while it was raining.
Nice. That
Yeah.
background makes it
Is
look
that a
like you're
screenshot
like
from Chronicle?
hundreds of feet in the
Right.
air.
Oh,
Those shoes. Those shoes
yeah,
are crazy.
I just stand on my roof and I jump.
I just
On
stand
your
on my
roof.
roof and I jump.
Yeah. Also, yeah, those fucking shoes are the comfiest shoes I've ever owned. They're Nike Air Metal Maxes.
That's
There's
fire.
like some like
Never heard of
soccer
that.
shoes.
Yeah, those are sick.
Yeah, I never heard of them before I found that pair. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, these look insane. They look very like late 90s.
They do.
I
Yeah.
fucks with them.
The nostalgia.
Hell yeah. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. We gotta do this again. We gotta have Brody back on here. This was like
Yes.
Sure, for
In
in
sure.
comparison to the first one, this was very introspective. Like the first one was really fun and it like felt like
Mhm.
old friends catching up, but this was like we got deep with this one, guys.
I like it. I like it.
We need to go deeper. We need to go back into
Exactly.
the mind.
You're gonna go deeper.
And I need to fucking wake up on time. I don't know what happened.
True.
Bro, it
Bambi.
I was at
adds
the skate
to
park till 3 in yesterday.
This,
adds
that's
to
what
comic
happened.
relief.
Jesus.
Yeah, I hope it can be edited smooth. I think it'll be okay. And it's
Yeah, no,
good that
it'll-
Evan was here and we kind of like
Yeah.
cycled.
Hell yeah.
I'm glad my mic got working. I'm just gonna use the iPhone for the rest of these, I think.
That sounds good now.
Fuck yeah.
Perfect. All right.
Good shit. This was a lot of fun. I really appreciate you guys having me on this. Good like
Yeah.
to be on the podcast. Good to just like talk and catch up and for the first time talk to a few of you guys too.
Yeah,
this is
bro.
really cool.
This is nice.
We
It was
got a
nice
game.
to meet you,
We
Brody.
got a game sometime, Brody.
Bro, Dead by Daylight.
We really do.
You gotta
I need
play
to get
Dead
that
by
game.
Daylight.
Bro, let's
I-
game all of us.
I'm so down. I don't know how much you guys hang in this Discord, but I'm always down to pop in and just hang out.
Me
Fuck
too.
yeah. We'll have to do that really soon.
I have to play it in the
Totally.
text group chat because I don't just check Discord randomly.
I got you.
Unfortunate.
I'm gonna
Sounds good.
close it out. Thank you guys for listening to the Acid Castle podcast. We do these usually every month or so, so stick around, check them out. If you haven't listened to the first one, check that out as well. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Bye bye.
Farewell.
Later, everybody.